All right, everybody, it's Tuesday night. It's 7 o'clock. And you know what that means. It's time for That's Cool Drink. Tonight, I've got Gary Putnam on. This is going to be a really, really fun one. Gary's one of the dudes I met along the 2014 drag week, and he's kind of been around and done some stuff, and he's hung out with some folks, and they've done some stuff, and they did the Sussino Putnam race team. We'll talk about them here in a little bit, and that was a fun deal that they did together. And of course, congratulations to Mark Sussino for the win at the NHRA deal this last week in the 8-car shootout that they had over there. And super cool to see drag and drive type people out on national event stage type stuff. So very cool deal. But I'll do the little canned nothing countdown, and we'll get started here. Mr. Gary Putnam.
What's going on, Adam?
Do we call you Pootnam? Pootnam.
Yeah, I don't care what you call me.
Just don't call you late.
Don't call me late for bacon.
That's right, man. That's right. There's a great picture, and I was there. This is one of them. This is not the one, but there's one.
That picture has a good story too.
Oh well, shoot. Let's do it. I jammed it up there. Let's make it happen.
You see Gavin there behind my fat head?
Yep.
This was drag week. I'm going to guess like 16-ish. Took my car in 14, 15. I think this was 16. So, you might know it's whenever drag week. I don't remember if it was a start and stop at Indy. But one of the stops was Indy. And I think Indy was going to be in Indianapolis like on Wednesday. So like Tuesday at work, Gavin and I start texting each other, hey, we should drive to Indy tomorrow. It was either they can be Indy on Tuesday or Wednesday, whichever day it was.
Totally. Yeah, it was 16. It was fully Indy.
Okay. So in the span of a 30-minute lunch break, we totally put that together. Okay, we're leaving tomorrow morning to go to Indy. So, and to hook up with these guys,
Right.
So that night, like my wife, we put out 4 skillets in the garage and cooked like 16 pounds of bacon and got up, Tuesday and Wednesday morning, whatever morning that was. And we blasted off to Indianapolis and hung out there the day and came home. Dude, it was a lot of fun. Met these guys in the motel. Dave and Tina Pierce was at that motel, and obviously all these guys you see in the picture, Chirp Kai and Greg and Mark, and that was a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Just do that stupid trip just to hang out and eat some bacon with our buddies.
That's there's a more famous picture that I thought I had, and this thing just for whatever reason didn't bring it in. And so now I'm frantically searching for it and flicking on and off the background, and it's great. I'm having a fantastic time. But there's a great picture, and it's you and it's Freiburger, and you guys are sitting there holding bacon that you like just had stashed, and it became a thing. Like the like Insiders Drag Week group and everything like started like bacon became this thing, and like you were cooking bacon while you were TIG welding next to it. It was like a thing. So
there's a giant story with that Freiburger and Loans picture too.
Is there?
Oh, there is.
Well, tell us that one.
Okay, when we was in Great Bend in 2014, I had to pull the nose off my car to weld the radiator, put the nose back on, and did our thing. Left, going down the road. It gets to evening time. You got to turn the headlights on. So I turn the lights on, and it starts getting a little bit darker where you should be able to see headlights on the ground, and we see no light protruding from my car. It's like, man, we ain't got no headlights. Crap. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we didn't plug them back in when we pulled the nose off. So we was outside the edge of this little town. I don't know. I don't even have no idea where it's at. It's been so long I don't remember. And it was all such a blur that week. But anyway, it was a junky little 2-lane road. Had a little grass, barely a little grass patch ditch to pull off onto. And we get out, we take the hood off, we plug it back in, the two plug-ins for the lights, and this SUV comes up and pulls up in front of us and pulls off to the side. Well, out of that SUV comes Freiberger and Loans.
Right.
So during that time that they was walking back to see us, we set the hood back on. At that point, they are at the car. So we turn our attention to them two, and we're talking, and they're, what's going on, plugging the lights, and they're just hanging out. And I fully intended on getting with Loans sometime during the week and give him some bacon. Well, since he was right there with us, I said, Brian, hang on, I got something for you. Went back to the cooler, got some bacon, and took that bacon to the front of the car, and we ate bacon. Mark got that picture, and away they went, and we jumped back in my car and got up on the highway at about 40 mile an hour. We saw the hood, it came up, and then away it went. We didn't fasten it down.
Man.
And and we pulled over real quick, and we get out of the car, and coming up over the hill way back yonder on their highway was a semi. And I thought, this is going to be the end of that hood. That semi is going to smash that hood all up. Well, we walked back there, and it ended up in the ditch. It nosed into the ditch, kind of broke the fiberglass of the hood. And that's how all that got put together.
And that was this configuration and this is when it broke the anti-roll bar.
It didn't break the anti-roll bar, but back on the hood, you see the bang shift sticker on the front of the cowl.
Yep.
It broke it in two places across that cowl. And when we got to a gas station after we got rolling along, I had them stickers stashed somewhere, and I was like, this is like a Band-Aid. This is a good place to put these stickers. So I stuck them stickers on that hood where it was broke, and left them there the rest of the week.
Heck yeah. And that was it was pro-charged big block in that iteration there. But tell us about the Mustang. When did you get it? When did it become a drag and drive car? When, what's it doing now? Obviously the front end's still off of it behind you. And at one point you told me that was the world's slowest twin turbo big block Chevrolet Fox body Mustang.
Yeah. I came from Salina to Wichita in 2006, but in Salina, okay, that's cool. What you got you a drink? I got a drink.
You got a drink?
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. I got a drink. Cheers. Cheers.
Clink. There we go, everyone. Clink. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in.
Drink.
That is cool. Heck yes. Thanks for tuning in again, Dash. One of my G-body dudes out of Colorado. He's a Colorado G-body guy. So
okay, this is weird. I can't see the comments. So it's like, I don't know what to do. Okay,
oh, what you should.
Well,
pull yourself out of okay. Yeah, there you go. Pull yourself out of full screen. He doesn't know how to be a passenger in this deal. We'll talk about it here in a bit.
Yeah, my tab was on private chat.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So yeah, he's got the Heads Up Racing Gary and Hot Rod podcast, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, he's used to driving the thing. He's not used to being a passenger. So it's a strange, different look to the StreamYard.
Yeah, like Ricky Bobby, I run the pictures in our deal, and I don't know what to do with my hands.
Right.
Exactly.
Have a drink. Exactly. You just kick your feet up, and we get drunk, and we talk hot rods.
I'm reading the comments. I'm not. Derek Putnam says, "Throw some respect on that Putnam name."
That's right. That's right.
Great.
Oh yeah. So the Pootnam was Loans, right? I think Loans or Freiberger, one of them called you
that
Pootnam
was Loans
for the week,
all week, and not to get sidetracked off of the Mustang story, we're going to go to that. The after whenever we was in Thunder Valley, at that point during the week, Loans was still saying, in his Massachusetts wang, Gary with like 5 A's, Pootnam, Gary
Putnam.
Pootnam.
Gary Putnam.
And I was getting messages from the Wichita guys, hey, you gotta go fix that. So Thunder Valley, if there's still a sign that they put on the outside of the door that says us only and you all stay out, that might be when that started, because I busted in that little room on the live feed when they was filming. and we corrected them. I corrected it was pretty dumb. I was just fired up after making 2 really good runs at Noble, and we was gonna leave early and get down the road, and yeah, I just busted on in there and we took care of business.
Hell yeah. So yeah, that's what happened there.
Yeah,
Derek. So that's not me. You talk to your buddy, Mr. Brian Rounds.
Mr. Brian.
That's right. But yeah, so the Mustang, like,
Yeah.
when'd you get it? How'd you get it? Why'd you get it? What the hell is it? What is it now? What was it then? Walk us through all that.
I acquired this. Actually, my buddy Sean used to own it when he lives in Salina still. And when I lived in Salina, he owned it. And he was actually here last week, and I kind of just found a teeny bit more information about the car from his side. And we got talking about it. And I think it was about 2000. I moved here in 2006. So it was probably like 2010-ish when I acquired it. But it was still his car in my garage. I was working on it for him. It had a busted oil pump shaft. It needed that fixed. And so I was fixing that. And during that fix, I called him and said, hey, why don't you just sell me this car? And he said, give me a week or two. Let me think about it and talk to my wife, and whatever, and make sure everybody's cool with it. So it all worked out, and I bought it from him. Well, when he was here, so that was like 2010. When he was here a week ago, I said, how long have you had it? Because I knew he got it from a used car lot in Salina. And he bought it in 97 off of a used car lot.
Okay.
And him and his wife drove away in it when they got married. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Little piece of that,
That is cool.
And here oh yeah, we got a drink. I got my Apple Crown and Coke.
Oh, I was just going to ask.
And in about an hour, I'll have to pee.
That's fine. All good. This can be as long as it needs to be, and it can be as short as it needs to be. So it's all good.
What's the longest one you've done?
Shoot, 3 hours.
I don't have to be to work till 6 a.m.
I have tomorrow off. Actually, I am. I'm taking.
Well, I can make that happen too.
Yeah. My lady and I are going to Wall. We're getting off track again, but we're going to Wall, South Dakota, to go to Wall Drug, and
cool.
Taking my Cadillac out there. It's about an hour and change out, and hour and change back, and that'll be our shakedown with the Cadillac to figure out if we want to drive it to Tulsa or not for the start of Rocky Mountain Race Week, which is 900 miles one way.
Dang.
So it's just it'll go 90. And it'll get almost 20 miles a gallon, and my truck will go 75 and get like 8.
Half of that.
Yeah. So it's really attractive if we are ballsy enough to do it. So I did just put a brand new motor in it. She's driving it to and from work to break it in. It has maybe 200 miles.
She's breaking it in.
I've been hammering on it. She's been pretty good. She's like, I heard you out there on the street. You told me not to do that. I was instructed not to do that. And I was like, right, but I don't want you to break it. I want me to break it. So, whatever. So anyway, we're going to go get 5-cent coffee. That's right. She's watching and driving. She's probably driving my car, which is a stick shift car, and watching this. So
she's texting and driving.
Yeah. Don't crash. Don't crash my shit, babe. But so anyway,
yeah.
So when you bought it, it was big block already. How race car was it?
No, it was really mild. It was your typical Mustang stuff. It was 140,000 miles stock short block, out of the box trick flow, twisted wedge head, a Holley
Okay.
Systemax intake, stock computer, none of that fancy stuff. It had a like a Turbonetics 76 millimeter turbo. Little,
Cool.
it was man, it was what we know way more now than back then, but it was way too big for that combo. But it was still fun to drive. I my idea was to put a better engine in it. So I kind of got rid of all that stockish stuff and
Yeah.
man, it's been so long ago. I forget kind of the process I went to do that, but I got after a Windsor dart block Windsor deal that I was going to race in a localish. The outfit came out of Oklahoma, it was called Mako 10.5.
Okay.
It was real popular back then in this area and Oklahoma, and so that was going to be a small block. Small block. I don't remember if it was do a turbo or a blower deal with that, but the small block idea was pretty short lived.
Yeah.
And I bought the motor from way back before he was a giant superstar from Ryan Martin down in Oklahoma City. So engine and heads and all that kind of setup from him, and along come this big block popped up for sale. And as I read, and it was on the old Yellow Bullet forum, and as I was reading the ad and reading the description, I was like, this sounds like this local guy. Like, this sounds like his engine. And I get digging some more in it. Well, it was. So I did some more checking on that and ended up buying, Mako was a cool series. It was 918 Motorsports. Yep. I bought that big block, and I also had another buddy breathing down my neck when I was looking at that big block. He said, I'll buy that small block stuff from you if you're going to buy that big block. So the dart block trick flow headed small block Ford never made it in this car from the initial build. It was let's go right to the big block, and that Mako series allowed a big block with an F2 when way back when F2s were a thing.
Yeah, that was the jam. Yeah,
they were a fragile thing, but that's the blower you could run in that. So that's the route I was going to go initially.
Well, and yeah, I mean, you can make what, like 1,400 horsepower on an F2.
Yeah, and there was a guy, Craig Ondrick, in his Firebird. He had a blow-through carburetor. He was running the big block. It was a Steve Morris big block and a blow-through and an F2. And he was very competitive in that class, and that's the route I was going with that combo.
Okay, all right. And what circa what year are we roughly?
That had to be because that plan with the F2 between then, I'm going to guess that was probably like 2000, because I think I bought the engine in 2011 ish.
Okay, all right.
And so Drag Week was 14, and I know that distinction because I went to Drag Week with a F3 136.
Okay.
So somehow I strayed off of the F2 track to do Drag Week with the F3 because the F2s are fragile. Okay. And I didn't want that fragile little turd on Drag Week. So
got it.
I got it. I got a buddy from Kansas City hooked me up with an F3 and big transmission, big input shaft, and all that, and it was a reverse rotation belt deal.
Oh, it was a belt deal. I was going to say, did you crank drive that or did you belt drive that?
Yeah, it was belt driven. It was a reverse rotation belt. It wasn't a side slinger to the side. It was in line with the crank and stuff. And I set the bracketry up in a way so that I knew, I don't have no ends at Pro Charger for any repair help. So I had to take care of it. So I wasn't going to drive between tracks with the belt on. So I had to devise the bracketry so I could loosen it up. This had to be, done as quick as possible to loosen it up, take the belt off and get it in street drive mode, and then reverse the whole plan at the track. And I timed it one day. And it took about 30 minutes to do that.
Okay.
But that's just by yourself. That's not like at Drag Week and that type of stuff. How crowded and busy it is. People come around talking. So, I had to make it as quick and as efficient as possible to turn it to the street or to the track both ways. And it worked. It worked real good.
And you've got, I mean, this is Gary Putnam, brag on yourself time. You're like an aerospace welder. Like, you're like a legit like fab weld gangster kind of guy.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
mean,
but yeah, you're right. I'm a aerospace, aircraft aerospace welder for a small company here in Wichita. We're employee owned. We have about 240 employees, 230, 240. I kind of lose track, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we do really cool shit for everybody. So
nice,
everything that's in the sky, we've probably got parts on it from
nice. Yeah, and
commercial defense, helicopters, all kinds of stuff.
that's got to play a part in being able to manufacture your own sliding bracketry thing for it, for a pro charger. So that's, I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's
Like,
cool.
I'm
Very
back.
cool.
Okay, I'm back.
That
Wow.
yeah, and
I,
you know what I found out right away because I came to Wichita for this job in in '06. So the little bit of welding I did in the garage leading up to that was all just kind of crude car junk tubing and this and that kind of stuff. You get here and in the aerospace side, it's a whole different world.
right.
Found out real quick you can take the aerospace welding to the garage, but you can't take the garage welding to the aircraft side. So I learned that real quick.
Yeah, totally. And then I mean, what kind of we're getting way off track again, but I just need to know,
That's all
like,
right. We got time. We got time.
yeah, no, I mean, we're good to go. What sort of learning curve is that? I mean, like taking the garage welding guy into aerospace, like, is that like 6 months you're decent, and is it 6 weeks you're decent? I mean, 6 days.
Um, I've been doing it 17 and a half years and I'm still trying to get better every day. Everybody would say that too, but
And I think
um,
anyone good would say that.
yeah. And when you start off, you don't just start off welding airplane parts. You got to do weld search. You got to be certified in the different materials, the different tubings or plates and thicknesses and all that, different positions. So you got to certify in all that. And I was green. I was 35 years old and I was real green. So I was real slow to pick up. But I was willing to learn and they could see that. So that made a difference. I think, I hope,
So
I hope they're
30
not just,
now I gotta know, and we're getting way off track, but
all right, let's have it.
30, 35, you're changing careers. Like, what,
Yes,
that's a big ass deal. What,
man,
not, if
you ain't
it's not
kidding.
getting too personal, like, what happened there? Did you?
A buddy of mine, knowing him through racing here in Wichita, with me being in Salina, we took a trip one time, and we took two trips to Oklahoma City. One trip we took back, you talk about all kinds of stuff, racing and whatever. The next trip we took, by the time we got coming home from that trip, we was kind of out of stuff to talk about, so we started talking about work.
Mhm.
And he was telling me about where he works, which is where I work now. And I'm telling him about where I work. And he said, man, you got to get out of there. And in the company I work for, the benefits are great. It's a great place to work. And it sounded really awesome. Like, to do that kind of work, TIG welding. And I liked it. I wasn't very good at it then, but I
Right.
wanted to learn. And uh, it came together and it happened. And we packed our shit and moved to moved to Wichita.
Hell yeah, dude.
And
Like,
zero regrets. I mean, I wish, I came here at 35. I wish when I was 18 years old, I would have came down here and did this, but
right.
you never know.
I mean, I'm kind of, I have to get myself through a lot of like pep talks occasionally, because yeah, I'm like basically starting over from nothing at 44, and
Oh,
you know,
right.
I'm not a kid, and I'm like, all right, well, I got bills to pay, but I did, whatever, I'll figure it out. But I'm going into my this is my second most packed month behind September. September is going to be nuts. I'm doing a Volkswagen race right before race week. It's the day, like, it ends The next day I got to be at race week, and it's at Extreme Raceway Park. Race week is like another 4 hours or something, 3 hours away from there. So September is going to be nuts, but June's crazy. So I'm going to sick week,
Is that
or
next
sick
week?
summer. I'm sorry, next week. Right.
Wow.
Then I've got a week off, and then I'm at Rocky Mountain Race Week. So 2 Dragon Drives the same month, and the one we're competing in, and therefore have to drive to. So, I'm flying to Six Summer, which is great, but holy cow. Yeah, here we go. So,
Yeah. And just 1 second, since you brought that up, I listened to, well, I forget which show it was, where you was talking about, it might have been with Bill and Rich, where you was talking to them about what happened to you and your job.
right,
And I don't remember when you said that, that phone call came that you're there and then now you're gone, that type of deal.
right.
However long that's been, um, I have no doubt how scary that could have been. But are you breathing better now? Is it
Yeah,
it okay? So
yeah.
like, so it'll be a deal like if we see you with Brian Loans in NHRA in 5 years, and somebody would say, tell us how it feels, where you'll say like, man, that was like the greatest thing that happened, was for that to happen.
It
And
it fully could be. It
could
fully
be.
could be. I worked. I got the chance finally to work with Loans for the first time at a Cletus event. It was the Indy 800. So in at Indianapolis, which was it also that. So in 2016, I did drag week. I broke my car. I went to Scott Kleppinger's shop and switched the transmission. And he's like, I have a transmission at my shop. Just pay. It's like $900. I think is what I've got in it. So give me $900. No one's there. You can use a lift. You can use all the tools there. It's always jam and hair rock, and have fun. Change your jump. So I put a transmission in it. I was out. I towed it there, but I wanted to go. I wanted to race at Indy. So I raced at Indy. Loans got to call a pass of mine at Indy, and then fast forward 10 years, I'm announcing at Indy with Brian Loans. Um,
Wow.
who knew, dude? I mean,
Wow.
wild stuff. Wild stuff. So I
Yeah.
haven't done anything with him on any NHRA stuff or anything like that. But I mean, things are good. Like I'm booking gigs. I'm I'm not gonna. My kind of standard mantra is I'm not gonna be rich, but I'm not gonna be poor. Like
Right.
I can pay my bills. I'm doing okay. I might get to have a little bit of fun here and there, but um, I'm not begging for work on the street corner. So
I'd rather make the change my way than making the change the way you had to do it. Holy
yeah,
crap.
it was a little
Yeah. Woo.
yeah, instant. Hey, like here you go. Well,
Yeah.
good luck. Here we, so whatever. And I mean, yeah, at 45 left the oil refinery after 11 years, opened a speed shop in Tulsa. Got to do what you have a passion
Dude, that's
for.
awesome, man. Good luck. Good luck. Heck yeah. Go get it.
Yeah,
Damn right.
and yeah, and that's just it's a scary ass thing for sure. But it's been cool. It's
Yep.
been super cool, and I've been trying to get income from every like place I can get it. I put a little thing out and got like 150 more YouTube followers over the weekend.
Oh, yes. I've
That
seen
was
that. I'm following
that was
that. Yes.
awesome. I was like,
Oh,
hell
yeah.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
that's super awesome. So thanks to everybody that did that. Like that was super cool. But I've got plenty of views, like hours on this. I just need to get to that 1,000, and then that's a check. And even if it's $20, I mean, $20 is $20. People have done sketchier shit for $20
Hey,
than do do a podcast. So whatever.
I I do like I'll do some reels and I'll do some live feeds and whatever. And I finally got paid.
Hell yeah.
I got I've got 100 stars 2 times, and I think that's like a penny each time.
Yeah.
If I'm seeing that right, I was like, I got paid 2 cents to
I
just
mean,
2 cents.
whatever, dude. I mean, that's that shit you're kind of
And
doing anyway.
I got
So
2 cents, but I'm probably gonna have to pay like 10 cents tax on that 2 cents, right?
I mean, yeah, that's
Probably.
get pay up, sucker. So
Give me that money.
Dash was helping me with some short stuff. He was like, dude, start cutting this stuff into shorts.
Oh,
And
shorts
yes,
are
I
hot.
have been doing that. I've been doing a bit of that. Um, what I've run into is this records in a widescreen format, and the shorts need to be in a knot. So
Yep.
it's okay. You can like cut the screen a little bit, and it looks kind of like we look now, like with the background or whatever.
Yeah.
You can get the idea, but it's something. And yes, that's been a thing. I only did like 2 or 3 of them or something. I need to do more. I laid concrete today. That's one of the other things. Is without a job, my honeydew list is like all of a sudden it's weird how long it's gotten.
Right.
Because I'm home in the day typically, and I'm doing research, which is watching YouTube. So, yeah, exactly. So she's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, that's great, but
Why don't you Google concrete or something, right?
yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, I put 10 and a half bags of concrete in this stupid thing today, and whatever. I got a big ass blister. See, it's good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is what I do now. Is I work on stuff. I did a fence. Yeah, it's fantastic. But it has been nice for hot rod working because typically I'm used to working on weekends only. That's it. Period. Um, oh yeah. See, I did the Dickhead Rich short. So I had Rich and Bill on my show right before I was
Yeah.
on their show, and I did ask for a list. That's true.
There you go.
Yeah, I did. But Rich doesn't drink very much, and we did a long show, and Rich got a little tipsy,
Got a little
and
wild.
tipsy Rich is dickhead Rich. He's
Oh.
not very nice. He's like, for a Canadian guy, he turns into a dickhead. So
Oh, wow.
I
Good to
changed
know.
his name on StreamYard to Dickhead Rich, and did a little short on it. So
Oh, that's
anyway,
funny.
but no, that's one of the advantages with hot rod working on. Like I was saying, is I typically only get weekends to work on hot rods if I have a job. Now it's whenever I have good weather, I can work on a hot rod, and I just put a lift up in the garage, a little mini me lift, but it's a lift, and that's game changing stuff right there. Not
Oh,
having to jack
yeah.
a car up every single time you need to get underneath it, and not needing to crawl on the cold concrete to
You know
get
what
to
you need to
stuff.
do? You need to work on the car stuff Monday through Friday
Right.
and save the honeydews for Monday or for Saturday and Sunday. So you only got to work on the honeydews 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, and then she can help me with them, and that's always like the idea, but it's like Saturday's going to be rainy. So whatever. And yeah,
Right.
it's a Vinny lift. I'm a short guy anyway. I'm only like 5'8", and that's like kind of on my tippy toes a little bit. So I'm all good with it's a little shorty. It's great. It's fantastic. But anyway,
I wish I had a lift and I don't. And I got tired of jacking up this piece of crap because you got to jack up the front, go to the back,
right,
come back to
right.
the front, finish the back. And it's a super duper pain in the ass. And I finally broke down and ordered some Pro Jacks, and they showed up this week. I haven't put them together yet, but man, I'm still looking forward to that, to just
Yeah,
get it up in the air and work on it.
hell yeah. And like I've seen Blaine and Tommy Stark work on their 55 with those Projects. They're like rock solid. I
Yes.
mean, it's as good as a lift, and
Yep.
you can get a trans out of it. It's 18 inches in the air, 2 feet in the
Yeah.
air, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing I've heard is to do the electric over hydraulic. If you don't,
I got the Hubbard hydraulic box that uses 2 Milwaukee 18-volt batteries.
perfect.
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait to use it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's all I've ever heard about them. But you're gonna love it.
Yep.
But
Hey, that's
lift,
cool.
that is cool.
That's cool.
Drink to that.
Drink
Let's
it up.
make it happen. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8:30 there. I mean,
It is 8:35.
right.
I ain't scared.
Ooh. That's one of the other things. Is I'm in mountain time, and most of my guests are at least an hour ahead of me. So I'm always asking them, like, hey, can you be on at 8? And they're like, we're getting like right into bedtime here.
I don't go to bed till late anyway, so I don't care.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Well, screeching right back on track.
Yeah, we got sidetracked.
I mean, we got wayside, but that's how this works. It's all good. We
Right.
we have a good time.
That's right.
We're learning. We're having a good time. We're one big happy family. For our 3 viewers, it's my girlfriend, it's your wife, and
the
and
dog.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this thing will have dozens of views, but so anyway, Mustang.
Yeah. Where was
I guess you had it built with the F2 ish.
Yep.
And then change gears immediately to go to drag week, I think.
Yeah. The F3 became a better idea for durability, on that deal, and that's how it went. So it got a big F3 and a 500. That engine was a 565-inch big block with some old Dart 360 heads, and it was just a good combo. Holley EFI C16. He froze up. Adams, there you are.
Sorry, we just got running water up here in South Dakota, so
right.
Internet is a tough ask, but yeah. So what got you into drag and drive? When did you start your kind of foray into that world?
I figured you'd ask that, so I'd been thinking about that, and when I moved here in 2006, like the first drag week was 2005, right?
Okay.
Yeah, or 2005, I think. And
Kyle had
them. Kyle had them videos. He was there. He was doing, and you sell a CD. If anybody still remembers what a CD is, he was selling CDs. So we moved here in 2006, and I come across a deal where he was selling them CDs, probably in like 2007 or 2008. And I ordered a couple drag week, the CDs on the videos he produced on them, and watch them. And I'd always been a fan of like fast street cars that still look like street cars. So that was really cool. So that's in that 07, 08 range. And 2011 drag week starts in Topeka. So 2011, 10. I'm trying to put these years together because it was a long time. I think it was the winter of 2010.
Okay.
Keith Lopez.
Right.
Yep. He had a Fox body, an 82 Fox body. And we mini tubbed it over here, and he got talking about this drag week thing. And I had remembered it from watching Kyle's CDs. Didn't know a lot about it, the ins and outs of it, but I think that was the winter of 2010 into 2011. We mini tubbed that car, and the talk then was in the winter was going to do drag week with it. 2011. Yep. So,
and this is a Fox body Mustang. Right?
Yes.
Because he's got the Fairmont.
Yep.
Now, and which is a Fox body. I mean,
yeah, and this is how the Fairmont came in the picture.
Okay.
And I may be off 1 year, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 to 11. So we're going to do drag week with the Fox. It's in Topeka. It's a no-brainer. It's just down the road, The Mustang is in Joplin, Missouri to get painted at Robert Beasley's paint shop. And this giant tornado comes through Joplin and just wreaks havoc on that city. And his Mustang got tangled up in that.
At
the body shop. And I'm pretty sure that had to be 2011. Okay. In May of 2011. So that took the Mustang out of the picture. He immediately, I don't know where he comes up with this wagon, but in 2011, in May 2011, he pops up with this station wagon. Well, we're going to do drag week with this. somehow we thought through the summer of 2011, we're going to build this entire car from a shell. And in September, we're going to do drag week with this thing. Well, it didn't happen. It just took too long.
Right.
But we ended up going to Topeka and hanging out, Jake and Scott, Larry was there, Joe Barry, Tim Reed, Mash Meyer and
yeah.
Travis
I mean,
Wilson.
this is kind of when the men were men, and the week were weak. It was up until really 14. It was a super exclusive thing to be a drag and drive type dude. And
yeah, it was a real low key deal.
Right. And it was a very like small community of people who
yes
even knew about it. And like, I mean, I know it even had like a spot in the magazine, and I think people like to read about it, but it was like for the regular Joe. And for me, I found out from Hot Rod Magazine. But for me, it was like an unattainable thing. Like these were like rock stars to me. Like all these names that you're talking about are like rock stars. And I remember like, Scott having his, his door peeled back on his car and reading about it in Hot Rod Magazine. And then like, getting to meet people like this, like for me, that was it was such a cool thing to be among these. What I thought were, I mean, if you were in a magazine, you were hot shit, man. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean? Like that, you're not a regular dude. And, now I've been in like a ton of magazines, but I'm not that, I'm still like, these dudes are the dudes, man. Like the names that you all just named. So,
and I didn't get it. Like, I think we was there for the first day, obviously in Topeka, and it's, it's all these really cool cars, and we followed them out of the track and we hung out, and I forget where they went from, from Topeka, but, I forget if we was able to follow them, through any social media stuff. I don't remember back then, but just thinking, man, this is kind of crazy what these guys are doing, leaving here and they're driving these cars, and,
right.
Scott's Malibu with Jake's big block and the F3 in it. That was a pretty rowdy combo, and it ran, it ran 7 something back then, 770, 60, 80, something like that.
Something,
and
right.
Just like, just, at that first day, I just didn't quite comprehend it, but we went back for the last day. And the awards ceremony and all that. And it kind of clicked then what that was all about.
Right. Like these, like, I don't want to drive my daily driver 1,000 miles in 5 days. And these dudes just did it with a 7-second Malibu. Like,
yeah.
Are you
kidding
me?
And Larry makes it look easy, it's
right.
But that first day, them leaving was no big deal. But when they came back, it was an eye opener. Like, oh, okay, I get it. I see what this is about now.
Right, and they come in licking wounds, and they got lifters tied up, and they're bringing steaming piles of shit that still run 780.
Yep. And the door of Scott's Malibu got peeled back from Travis's parachute with Max Myers Camaro at Great Bend. Oh yeah.
Yep. Speaking of, I just jumped on here. I was just looking at this semi recently, and on 1320's website, you can get all of these things.
Can you still get those?
Like $3 for the pump gas drags. Drag Week 2016, $3. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, all good. You can,
cool.
I mean, just make it happen.
I have no idea what I paid for them back then, but they were cool to watch.
Heck yeah. Give me just 2. I'm really sorry. If somebody's knocking on my door.
That's all right.
I'm
Go
not
get it.
Sure what. Give me 2 seconds here. No one else is home.
Guy bringing you parts.
Okay. Just talk amongst yourselves.
That's cool. I'm going to have a drink. So the comments over here, somebody throw something up. Let's talk about it. Let's have it. I seen, I'm scanning the comments here. I saw Derek Putnam. Are you still here? Do you ever get your name butchered, Putnam? It's the FBI. Don't answer it. Charles, I have nothing to play. DVDs. Hi, Charles. Who else is here? A bunch of names I don't know. Charles, Neil, Stevie. You know, I don't have anything that plays DVDs either, to be honest. Dash's Garage. Oh, I can't pull it up. Big shop, only one car. No, it's not a big shop. It's just like it's your
Okay.
It's your typical,
All right. That was fun. The neighbor kids. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah. The neighbor kids kicked the ball in my backyard, and my dog was out back. And they needed help. So sorry about that.
That's all right. Dash's Garage asking about my garage. This is all the bigger it is. It's like I call it a typical Wichita 3-car garage. Your one big door, and then over here is the small door. I've opened this door like twice since I've lived here since 2008. I just don't use it. There's just a whole bunch of shit over there. So I hate it. It's too small, but it could be worse. But it's air conditioned. It cools and heats really easy, and I love that because I'm a puss and I love heat and air conditioning.
As I get older, I was the same. I was like, man, I don't need heat. I don't need AC. I don't need any of this crap. I'm hurt. This is like going to the gym. Like working on a car is like going to the gym, and it sucks ass sometimes.
It does. It was only like I don't know. It was 80 something degrees here, but it was so muggy and just awful. And about 3 o'clock, I pulled the door down and turned the air conditioner on because I'm not going to sit here and do this like we do on Sunday nights. I'm not going to sit here miserable in the heat, and I'm just not going to do that because I don't have to. I'll pay that little bit of that bill because I spend so much time out here. It's justifiable. Drink.
Right. Yeah, drink indeed. Vince says that's the aerospace.
Yeah, you got a very valid point because I'm fucking spoiled.
It happens, and you have like the nicest like stuff to rotate your stuff to weld. They don't want you to get carpal tunnel or nothing. You gotta living the good life.
Yeah, and this 918 Motorsports we was talking about Tim and them guys. His comment: the turbo LS Pinto was a bad combo. Loved watching him put nitrous in the whole kitchen sink to run a number. Yes, I remember that at Tulsa.
Yep. And I read the magazine. They would say that it was so well dialed that if he moved the passenger seat forward, it wouldn't do a wheelie, but if you moved it backward, it would do a wheelie. Like there was that much difference.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but either way, that thing was wild.
Yeah, in 2000, that was in 2012 because he was in a heated battle with the station wagon. I know you know who I'm talking about. He races a green Mazda now. Rick
Prospero.
Yes, he was in a heated race with him on the last day. So that's when Tim got a nitrous kit, had it sent in Friday morning, and put that on. If he'd had a few more passes, it would have went 7 something. That was September 12 drag week. In November of 12, we got invited to Houston to NMCA, and Tim got invited. Joe Barry, Travis, Larry Larson, Travis and Todd, Schroeder, ends in their Corvette to do this exhibition deal. And Tim still had the nitrous on it, and he wanted me to drive the car, and it went 778 that weekend.
Nice.
So, yep. I think probably what was happening at Tulsa, because we had to clean the fuel filter in Houston, and it was pretty junked up, and he believed that was the problem in September when it wouldn't quite do what it needed to do. So it worked out. It went 7s in Houston. It was fun. It was a cool event. Jeff Lutz was there. It was fun.
Nice. Hell yeah. That's a very cool. And like, I've just gotten like a little taste. I did one NMCA and MRA race, and that's a riot, man.
And Charles remembers Charles was there. I remember that. Charles was there.
He was probably writing for Bang Shift, probably.
Yes. Yeah. He was taking pictures and stuff. And we drove all the cars down to, I think it was a place called Kima. It was a really cool place, like on the boardwalk type of deal. Dude, that was a lot of fun. We had a big giant table in the back room of this restaurant, and we all hung out in there and ate, and it was fun.
Hell yeah. That's the best part of any of this stuff is the being able to hang out with these people and do so much cool crap. This dog, holy cow! Hey, stop it! Crap.
That's funny.
Charles wants to know about your ketchup finish.
I don't think it's a fetish. What I like sweets.
Okay.
And ketchup is very sweet. So I like putting ketchup on a lot of shit.
Hey, whatever. I mean,
dude,
you and Mahomes, man.
You know what? It's sweet, and I like sweetening up. Well, I'm drinking apple Crown and Coke, and hey, yeah, you know what?
I got Coors Heavy.
It's cool. Let's drink.
Let's do drink. And when Stevie gets home, you'll need to get me some more of these because this is just happening fast. So I'm out. Should have gotten more while I was letting the kids in the backyard. And I was telling them to avoid my brand new concrete. So now I know I'm gonna have some kids freaking stupid handwriting.
Yeah, they've done trampled all over that concrete.
Oh yeah, they got butt cheeks out there. Son of a.
Yep.
Oh man. Have we talked about your Mustang at all?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just
okay.
Hey, it's just a belly button. I mean, it's not like it's a cool car.
I disagree.
It's a belly button.
I think it's sweet. I like it. I think that car is cool.
So 2011. We was talking about. I was in Golden Saturday, drove by the brewery. We was talking about how that got turned on. So we didn't make it with Keith's wagon. 2011. We went there, hung out, Topeka and stuff. 2012.
Right.
The start and stop was Tulsa. So we had the rest of 11, the winter, and into 2012. Well, then we had all summer to test the car. So that was, so now that's where the station wagon is in the picture. So it was, I always wonder, and we've talked about it a couple of times, like how different things might have been if the Mustang didn't get tore up in the tornado. But you always wonder stuff like that, stuff that's out of your hands, out of your control. You just don't know.
Yeah, like who knows what is going to happen.
And the Mustang is still here. A local guy has it now, and he races it heads up with us and stuff. So it's still here. Yeah.
Sweet.
But but the wagon got, it got painted that it was a baby blue. I don't know what the name of it is, but it was, it was a baby blue color. Got it together. We tested it in 2012, raced it. We raced it around here, getting it prepared for drag week in September in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was our first actual event competing was 2012, and it was with the wagon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you watched 11, came back in 12 with the wagon.
Yep.
And it's always been Ford powered, right?
Yes, he's a
Ford dude. He's that guy.
It's funny. I was at his house today, and he's a diehard Ford guy, and he's always been not a fan of the LS, but he's becoming more of a fan of the LS. And he was telling me how many he has at his house now.
Because isn't he trying to chop up LS heads and put them on the inline six?
I don't think he's done that yet, but I know
he's trying. He's going to try. Like that's on his list.
I know it's in his head. He just hasn't done it yet. If he had time, I'm sure it would happen.
Hell yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but he in a practical racing fashion, you can't beat the LS. I mean, like for a pretty reasonable budget, throwaway stuff. So he's lining up a bunch of them for whatever we might need. So,
hell yes, whatever is coming in the future, you just never know.
Yeah, Lopez's wagon was so cool to begin with. The current configuration, Jeremy Diversailles, he's my hero. Okay, yeah, and most would. Yeah, you remember the combo now, right? Or what it had?
It had a twin turbo small block Ford, or it was a Cleveland
Yep.
or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a twin turbo small block Ford back. Well, it was a single turbo back then.
Okay.
Then um and I take it this what Chad was saying, the wagon was cool to begin with,
Yep.
but the current configuration, it had a 6-cylinder with a little single turbo, and it
Right.
ran
It had
really
the 300. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Inline
real
six with the single
impressive.
turbo. Yeah.
Yes,
And he's
yep,
like, he's building all sorts of parts and stuff for that. Like he's doing
yep,
like a whole thing for that 300 Ford kind of world.
yep.
And I think even the Mackeys are getting some 300 performance stuff for one of their cars that they're
Okay,
putting together. They're a diehard Ford family out of Colorado,
right.
and they do a bunch of the race week type stuff. And yeah, the kid's got a Rambler with a small block Ford. They're Ford tried and true, them cats, but they're going to do a 300 and something. So
Yeah,
good
that
for them.
yeah,
Oh,
he
Keith and Charles were just talking about the LS Head 300, and
oh,
he said
yesterday,
it keeps
okay.
blowing head gaskets. So he's working
That's
on it.
funny. Right, yeah,
That's something we were talking about, and he was like, "No, I'm totally going to do it. You take 3 and 3, and you weld them together, and they bolt
oh,
on,
yeah.
and then you end up with this. He's like, it's better than a stock one is better than any aftermarket head that's out, on the market.
And
So
I wonder what the weight difference would be with taking that giant chunk of
huge
steel head
chunk of
off.
iron, right? Exactly. And you could
Right.
recycle that thing for like, I mean, what's steel, like
I don't
six
know.
bucks a ton or something? I mean, you get like $45 for that.
Right. Yeah,
Man.
he's always got some cool ideas cooking. And when he brought that car down to Arc City and did some graduation with our friend Brian and his truck, man, I was really impressed with how good that thing ran for no more time than he had testing on it. It showed just killer promise for a simple little 6-banger and a little turbo and some fuel
Yep.
injection. Man, it was super cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nothing high zoot. He
Oh,
doesn't have
forgot to
anything
drink.
like that is cool. Drink. Hey. Yeah, it's nothing high zoot. It's crazy. It's like off the shelf type stuff. And he's like, dude, it just doesn't. I can't blow it up. Like, and I love his tow rig. He's got the little
Yep,
half ton F100 that
that's
also
Buford.
has an inline six 300 in
Yep.
it. So yeah, he's got 12 cylinders between the two, and
I,
that's a
I
cool
think
setup.
I think Buford has an LS in it right now.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Hmm. Huh.
He I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not, but
I'm gonna rat him
you
out.
know, now you know.
I'll send him a text when we're done.
You can edit this, right? He can kick me in the nuts later.
Live, baby. There's no editing. We roll with it.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
know. That's
talk
what,
to us about riding with Mr. Sussino
oh
in
man,
the Pawnee Carlo SS with the
I
no fat
never.
chick sticker.
This is a conglomeration of photoshopping here. I never rode in that car.
No, damn it. But
No.
he
We,
rode with you on this one, right?
yes,
Got,
yes. 2014. Yep.
got it. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
got it.
2013. We took the wagon again.
Okay,
Um, and he was fighting transmission trouble through the summer and just didn't get a handle on it. And in Bowling Green, it was still there. So we parked it on the trailer, unhooked the truck from the trailer, and we just drove the route with everybody in the work truck with the air conditioning. And it was
hell yeah.
super crazy, just shitty hot in Bowling Green in 2013. But we rolled in air conditioning to all the tracks and came back on Friday and got the transmission fixed. Made like an 810 or so pass in it on the last day. After the transmission got fixed that day. So not a great week, but you're on vacation. You go have fun. However, you got to
That's
have fun. You just do it
right. Exactly. I mean, you
with or
make the
without the
best of
car.
it. You could be at work. You just keep telling
Yeah,
yourself, I could be at work,
yeah.
and you're not at work.
We're on vacation for a week. Unhook that trailer and let's go.
Yeah, exactly. You've already got the hotels. You already got the time off. Screw it.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, and it was you mentioned Sussino, so I was trying to think of when I met Sussino. It was in the staging lanes in 2012 because we're in Tulsa, and the little um, it's a sloped roof, like looks like a gas station, but it's like the tech area on the east
Yes.
side. So that's where tech is. So then you got 2 lanes of cars that string way back to the pits. During that time, that's a great time to walk by and check out the cars.
Right.
So we're walking along and I see Mark's car. I didn't know Mark, didn't know who he was, didn't know the car. And I'm checking out the car. It is a really cool looking car.
It's
I like
a
those
super,
bodies.
super nice, like
Yes.
original paint. Like
Yes.
it's a nice car.
Yep. I like those G bodies, the Monte Carlos, the Oldsmobiles, the body style of that. And like you said, it's super clean car. And I ducked down. There's a dude in the passenger seat, which was his co-pilot. And I don't know who he was. I don't remember his name. And I ducked down. I was like, "Is this your car?" He goes, "No, it's Mark's and whatever." And eventually, throughout the tech line there, I got met up with Mark. So, you see off and on during the week, you see each other. You kind of communicate, you talk, you hang out a little bit, whatever. Then 2014, the spring of 14 rolls around, you're getting plans together. And a guy from work was going to go with me. Keith was going to take his wagon. I'm taking my car. A guy from work was going to go with me. Mark reached out in a Facebook message and he says, "Hey, if you need somebody to wrench and knows the way around a car and has experience and is a good help, if you need somebody, let me know." I said, "Well, a guy from work, might go along. Let me double check and see the status of that." And I asked that guy, and he was kind of on the fence and probably wasn't gonna. So that's where Mark came in the picture for 2014.
Okay.
He already had rooms booked and stuff. He's like, "We use my rooms and stuff and all that."
Hell
And
yeah. That makes it
and
easy.
that's how they got put together in the spring of 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And I
like
forget
right
what,
before the event kind of happened
and I was still putting the car together. It didn't run.
okay.
It didn't run till like August.
Damn.
It was a brand new car. I got it back from the paint shop in I think February of 14, and I had to put the car together. This brand new car that I didn't know at the time. I was going to go junk it on Drag Week.
Right. Right, exactly.
What a
How
stupid idea.
How quick was it on Drag Week that year? 14.
The fastest it went was 801.
That's moving. That's
But
styling.
there's some that was we blew up the transmission on Sunday testing.
I think I remember that. It was a 400, right?
Yes. So a local guy, you familiar with G-Force suspension parts? Okay, Chris Nichols was a local Wichita guy. He was there with his GTO. They blew up the engine like Friday or Saturday. Maybe I killed the transmission Saturday. I don't remember. But they didn't have an engine, but they had a good tranny.
Okay.
And Chris come over and offered up his transmission. So they jacked their car up, pulled the transmission out. We put his transmission in my car, and without that, obviously from the get-go, my week wouldn't have happened. But
right.
So, but his transmission, the trans brake had trouble. It worked one time the first time I used it, and it didn't work anymore the rest of the week.
Oh wow.
And we tried and tried and tried. And so I was foot braking this thing all week. It'd go like a 125, 60 foot, and 125 to like 130, 131, something like that. Not real ideal for wanting to win a class and do real good, but you had to do what you had to do. So that was how we went. And by the time we got to Great Bend, we had some time. And I talked to Greg at FTI. It was an FTI transmission. I talked to Greg on the phone, and I give him this scenario. And he said, "Do you want to finish?" I was like, "Yes, that's like the number one goal is to finish." He said, "Don't touch it." And he's talking about the transmission. Like, what can we do in there to make this thing work.
Right.
And he said, if you want to finish, do not touch it. Just keep doing what you're doing. So, okie doke.
So there we go.
Oh,
All right.
yeah. In Great Bend, if everybody remembers Great Bend in 14, it was cloudy,
Cold.
cold,
Cold.
drizzly, and
Right.
like 50 degrees ish.
Yeah. It
It
was super
sucked.
cold.
It
Yeah.
sucked. Yeah.
Someone's
Um,
got a picture of me sleeping in my car with Brad, my co-pilot, sleeping in next to me. We're both in hoodies and stuff, and we're just racked out and just waiting for something. And yeah, not good. And I had
well,
nitrous on my car at the time too, and I think they did I made it in the like daily driver shootout thing, and my nitrous bottle had like 700 psi in it. I'm like,
uh-oh.
okay,
Uh-oh.
whatever.
Yeah, and we came out of the motel. That God, I think that was Thursday morning. We come out of the motel Thursday morning, and somebody says, "Hey, there's some antifreeze under the front of your car." I was like, "Oh, whatever." So I'll get down and I get underneath, lay down and look underneath the car. Well, I could see antifreeze coming from the radiator.
Hmm.
It's like, well, we got to fix this. This is the story with the nose coming off the car because we had to plug in the headlights because we had to work on the radiator. So
Right.
we get to the track, and it luckily it was cold. It was shitty weather. We had time. We pulled the nose off. We had to take the radiator out. The radiator, one of the cores had got a hole in
Hmm.
it.
Okay.
So we pulled the radiator out. Jeff Lutz's, well, um, gear vendors, they take their rig
Right,
to
right.
every
He's
day.
and it's like a big RV and like
Yep,
it's a huge.
trailer. Yep. Um, Jeff Lutz's welder was in that rig. So this is an aluminum radiator that's been running with, I don't remember what I had in it, if it was coolant or water wetter or what it was, but there's no scenario of welding on on a radiator core that's had any. I didn't have long pants, my co-pilot, or my fire suit, or my jacket. I didn't have any warm weather shit either. Keith ended up coming to Great Bend, and he had like a Monster hoodie. He worked for a Monster distributor, and he gave me that hoodie to wear
Yeah.
that day, and it's still in my closet. But it was freaking
Who
cold.
who thinks in September at
No,
great at Tulsa that it's going to be
it was
50
Great
degrees
Bend.
and sleet and
Yeah,
or Great Bend, right? That's right. Yep. Yep. Yeah, who was going to think?
yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, and there's no fluid you can run through a radiator to come behind it and think it's awesome to weld. It's not a good scenario.
Right.
So I took this thing out and I went to that trailer and I tried to weld it. And dude, I was so I don't know. I just couldn't do it. I mean, honestly, I just couldn't get it done, the weld job. And I'm kind of in a panic because I just need to get down the track and we need to
Right.
just
Right.
get done for that day. But I needed a damn radiator or we ain't going nowhere. And Shane McClellan um,
Mhm.
and Blake was pitted next to us. So I left the radiator in the trailer. And I went down to Blake and I said, Blake, I need your help. I need you to weld on my radiator. So we went down and he welded on the radiator. We just did what we could, and I just couldn't do it, man. I was all jacked up and worried, and
Right. Right.
and yeah, and he welded on it, and Jeff come over and uh, he goes, I got to fix these things all the time when they get holes in them. He said, take that core and where it's broke, cut it and roll it over and just smash it with vice grips. Roll it over a few times and smash it. It'll be just fine. So Blake welded it. We rolled it a few times and smashed it with vice grips and put it in the car, and it stayed fine like that for a really long time.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? Blake welding on it made me feel better because if I fucked it up and didn't and wasn't able to finish, it would have sucked. I'd have been really pissed. But if it didn't work out and Blake helped, I was okay with that
Right.
because he helped out he did what he could, and it just didn't work. So that's how I justified being okay with me failing as a welder, that I could not weld this thing. I just
Right.
couldn't get it done. I was too jacked.
But like you said, like it's a little bit of, redemption knowing the other guy couldn't do it either. So
Yeah, well, he got it done better than I did, and we still rolled it and smashed it, and that's I don't know if that's a tech tip, but it works.
hell yeah.
Roll that shit, smash it together a few
Smash
times.
it together, it'll
Yes.
it's all good. We used to do that with rear brake lines back in high school, so we could do
You
awesome
spin that tire.
burnouts with shit boxes. Yeah, that is cool.
That is
And
cool. Drink it. Yeah, so
that's one
how
of the other
great
things. That's one of the other things I've been doing is writing some articles for Sick the Mag, which has been kind of cool. And Tom's been paying me for that, which has been it's a weird little side gig, but when I've got some downtime, I've been doing some stuff like that. But I'm going to write my next article is going to be about everyone needs to own a shit box at least once. And like
Right.
my buddy bought this car in high school that was like $150 Buick Park Avenue, 79 Buick Park Avenue, Olds 403 Turbo 400, big boat, 4-door. We had so much fun in that freaking car. So I'm going to do an article on that pretty soon.
I'm a kid from the 80s, and my first car was a Pinto.
Attaboy.
A Pinto
Attaboy.
shit box station wagon.
Nice.
And it was brown.
Hell yes.
Dude, we had so much fun in that hunk of shit.
My first car was an 87 Escort station wagon, automatic.
Man, I don't know which one's cooler, mine or yours.
Yours probably, but I used to drive backward as fast as I could drive it in semi-control and throw it right into drive.
Oh,
like reverse to drive, and it would take it all day long. I mean, I could do that shit over and over and over and over, and it was great. Never take my foot off the gas. Yeah, I can't believe that how much crap that car took. It was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
but
that old stuff can take a beating.
I did have a Pinto once, and I had a Buick 215 aluminum V8 and a Super T10 4-speed in it, and
that's hopped up.
It was great. It got towed to the junkyard and parted out, and never to be seen again. I had it parked at work, and they were like, "You got to get this shit out of here," and I had no place to put my Pinto. This Pinto I bought for like $200 or whatever. I mean, whatever. Pintos.
When I was a kid in the 80s, I used to race radio controlled RC cars. And I traded a guy in the little town I grew up in, little dinky little town called Bennington, Kansas. I traded a guy this remote control car and a $50 bill for that 72 Pinto station wagon.
Nice. That's a good trade.
It was my first car was a stick shift. Aren't you proud?
Attaboy.
Yeah,
I am proud.
That's cool. Drink it.
That is cool. I'm out. Stevie just texted me. She said she's not in the ditch anywhere. The car is not broken down. She is still breaking the car in. So I was like, I hope you don't break down and I have to stop my podcast and go pick you up. So she'll be bringing me some more drinks here
you
soon.
See Craig's comment?
Oh yeah. That is true, Craig. That is true. The Rip Ride Nova is it is quite the shitbox.
At least he has a cool car. I got a fucking Mustang.
Well, whatever. And his is the NA big block, but it doesn't have the right amount of pedals.
It's just missing boost. That's all.
And a third pedal.
I don't know about that.
So what got you into hot rodding in general? At what point are you as a young lad, oh, I'm screwed for the rest of my life?
I have the king of shit boxes. Well, I was a little kid. I guess I'll probably take this back a little further. I was a little kid in the 70s. And the late 70s, this ridiculous movie comes out called Smokey and the Bandit.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a tight spot in my pants for that black Trans Am ever since, and I will have one someday. Then as a teenager in the 80s, you had 3 television stations. We had a satellite dish, but your good television back then, it was car shit. It was
Right.
Knight Rider, Hardcastle and McCormick, Riptide, Dukes of Hazzard, all these car
Miami
shows.
Vice.
Miami Vice,
I mean,
wheeling around in their awesome cars.
right.
And this little dinky town there's nothing to do. There's a shade tree by the house and dirt under the tree. So it was, I think a guy anybody in your 50s, that didn't have much to do back then. Fall Guy. Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, you're old. I am old. It was Hot Wheels. This is the 80s. There ain't much to do in a little shitty town. Hot Wheels. I built plastic model cars, and raced radio controlled cars. Simon and Simon. Yes. Got all them shows in the 80s. There was I'd have nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, even Married with Children, even he was that Mopar guy. I mean,
Airwolf. It's not a car, but it's still this amazing mechanical piece of equipment.
Helicopter that can do everything.
Yes.
And then a little later, Batman came out, and the Batmobile.
Yeah. Everybody wanted Kit.
Totally. And had kind of the same, like, RC cars. Like, I had a crappy one, but like it was my buddy had the Clod Stomper.
Clodbuster.
It had Clodbuster, right? It had two motors. It was 4-wheel steer. It was 4-wheel drive. It was awesome. That thing was everything.
I couldn't afford that one.
No, same. I had a little crappy one, and we went to the racetrack, and my car wouldn't go over the first jump. And the guy that ran the racetrack felt bad for me and let me not pay for my no laps on the track because he had a minimum. But he was like, if you can't get over the first jump, then I'm not going to charge you. You're fine, man.
You're now a spectator.
Right. And all the movies had cool cars. So Back to the Future had the DeLorean, and there's so much.
Our TV shows on those, on the 3 channels now is just shit. It's murder, CSI, kill stuff.
Right.
And back then it was car stuff. And I miss that. And,
I do.
And someday I will have a black 77 or 78 Trans Am.
Hell yeah.
When this is gone, when I'm tired of this piece of shit, I'll have a black Trans Am. But so that's what I did in the 80s was Hot Wheels, build model cars. For Christmas, I was easy to buy for Christmas. Just buy me some model cars, and I'm gluing that shit together. So, probably like in the mid 80s, I started racing the RC cars.
Okay.
And that was fun. That because you can't have a big car. I didn't have a car till the Pinto. So I did that as long as I could. Then, I went in the Navy for 2 years. And Adam, thank you for your service. I don't want this to get away without thanking you for you. We served in totally different times. And, so thank you.
Thank you.
So thanks. When I got out in 92, in October of 92, Topeka, they would have like their last bracket race of the year was late in like October-ish, November, something like that.
Okay.
And my buddy that I worked with at this plant, this Great Plains Manufacturing, it was called. We worked together before I went to the Navy. When I came back, he had this 65 Olds 442, and he would bracket race and stuff. Yeah, and he still has it. It was like his high school car. He still has it. He lives in Amarillo, Texas.
Hell yeah.
He's like, hey, let's go to Topeka. That was the very first racetrack that I went to. Was in I think it was November of 92, and it was a bracket race. Around bracket cars. I don't care for bracket racing, but
but it was a race.
But it was at the racetrack, yeah. And that's the first time I ever went to a drag strip was Heartland Park, Topeka in late 92. and it's been downhill ever since.
And that's a hell of a commitment there, because the pits are like 4.5 miles from the starting line at Heartland
Yes.
Park, Topeka.
Yes.
So if you've never been there, it's a hike to get
If you've
over
never
to the
been
starting
there,
line.
if you've never been there, you're not gonna go there either
Yeah,
because
they've
they're
closed
done.
they've closed it, right? It's sold, it's done, it's not happening ever again. But and that's not cool. I like racetracks.
Yeah.
Let's keep that stuff moving in that direction, not in that direction. But
So
yeah, that's so
so that
so,
was
so you checked out a bracket race, you saw some open header stuff, and you're
yep.
done.
And my buddy Tim's 442. I got hired back at the place that I left when I went in the Navy, and like January of '93. Well, in between that spot, when I was in the Navy, before I left for the Navy, I acquired a '79 Formula Firebird. This goes along with my love for the '77, '78 Trans Ams.
Hell yeah.
This dude had a '79 Formula 4-speed, 400 4-speed, like a Muncie 4-speed deal.
Cool. Yeah.
T-tops. Man, it was a really cool car. I take it to Virginia, and I can't. They got what do you call it? You got to have state inspections and stuff out there.
Inspections, right? Exactly.
Yes. Oh, it's terrible. And I couldn't get the car inspected to get a base sticker and stuff. So I had to, I kind of had to dump that car real quick. So I went to a car lot. I got an '86, and while I was looking for cars, I was like, I think I might look for one of them Mustangs because they were pretty fresh back then. But as I
Hell
was
yeah.
thinking in my head, like, man, them Mustangs are kind of cool. That's all I saw driving around was them Fox body Mustangs. I'm like,
Right.
they're everywhere.
It was but it was the jam. Like, I mean, yeah, back in the day, like if you had a GT 5-liter Mustang, I mean, yeah, I mean, there ain't no way you're not getting laid driving around a 5-liter GT Mustang
right.
in 1988, 89, 90, 91, 92.
Yeah.
Like,
I had
girls are just jumping in the passenger seat.
That's right.
Breaking off the side graphics.
Yes. I had to find something, and the more I looked, the more, Craig, I had a '77 Formula in 1979. Man. I saw them stupid Mustangs all over the place. I thought, I can't get one of those. So I bought a car lot had an '86 Monte Carlo Super Sport.
Yes. Okay.
A 305, like computer controlled carbureted piece of shit.
Junk.
But they I like
cool.
them bodies. Okay, we're back to the Mark Sussino car. I like them bodies. They're cool looking cars.
And especially the SS, like with that nose, they look cool. That was a cool looking underperforming shitbox.
Had tinted windows. You know what the best part was? It had inspection sticker in the corner.
Right.
So it was good to go.
You could take it on base. You could drive it.
Yeah. So I'd dumped my Trans Am, or not my Trans Am. I dumped my Firebird, got into that. I had to do something kind of in a panic to be able to get in and out of base with my car. So
right.
Then I left the Navy with that car, and I get to Salina, and in between like November and January, my buddy Ed had a '88 IROC Z. That car had the 350 TPI engine, 700 R4. He gave me a ride in that car, and I thought it was the fastest thing on four wheels. So
on the planet, right?
Oh my holy! I'm like, I got to give me a car with this engine in it. My 305 hunk of shit in that Monte Carlo, man, we're done with that.
Yep.
So a local car lot had an '88 GTA Pontiac Trans Am.
Cool. Yeah, nice car.
Yeah. It was an '88, and this was January of '93. It had 25,000 miles on it. It was practically a brand new car.
Hell yeah.
So I had to have it. It had that
What color?
It was red.
Okay.
My shit has been red for way too long.
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
yes,
sir.
I'm done with red. But I had to have that car, and I bought it. So January of we're still in the winter months in January. It doesn't get racing weather till March-ish, April.
Right.
So
Right.
January 9th, I'll buy this car. In either March or April, I'm on the phone with Top Gun Nitrous Systems. I think they was out of Texas
Attaboy.
back then. And
Attaboy.
I bought a Top Gun nitrous kit for that stupid car. It had a little fogger nozzle and like 50, 75, 100, 150. I just went right to the 150 jets, threw them in,
Blew it
screwed
up.
the nozzle. Huh?
Blew it up.
No, did not.
Nice.
No. Yeah, I screwed the fogger nozzle in the rubber intake elbow with 150 jets, and I was playing with nitrous in '93 in that Trans Am. And we took it to Great Bend, and it would go 1540s stock, and it would go like 1390s with that 150 shot.
Hell yeah.
A very awesome gain.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to do this with your thumb.
Right. And it's cheap back then too. Like,
well, in Salina,
it was hard to find, I'm sure.
In Salina, nobody filled a nitrous bottle in Salina. So I had to drive down here to Wichita. There was still a there were still a super shops in Wichita. I had to come to Wichita, get my bottle filled at super shops, and go back home. Mm-hmm. So, but the nitrous shit was pretty fun on that car. It would take like a second and almost 4 or 5 tenths. As the car progressed, that same ET reduction kind of progressed with it. It was a lot of fun. I never heard it, never blew it up or nothing, which also means I wasn't pushing it hard enough. But
right.
But I didn't hurt it.
And nice. It was that was the time. Like, did you have like any computer tuning or anything like that done, or was it just pretty much?
Back then, it started out with a stock computer. That whole engine setup.
They had that like prom or whatever.
Yes. Yep. And I was doing business with this place out of Minnesota called TPI Specialties.
Okay.
They got thousands and thousands and thousands of my dollars in the early 90s just to make that stupid Trans Am run. But it was never nothing so exotic in the chip I would get from them that would hurt the car. So right. I don't know what their stuff was worth, but I put it in and it worked. So
yeah. And whatever, at the time, you probably had the coolest freaking GTA there was.
Yeah, and it was fun. I had got some centerline wheels with like some dirt track rear tires, some takeoff dirt track tires for it.
Hell yeah!
And as it progressed from 1540s stock to, did we forget to drink?
I got more drinks. I got an upgrade here. Stevie got home, so the Cadillac got home. Which is good news. So that's cool. We should drink.
I'm down to ice.
Oh no.
It started out at 1540s, and you do things to it to get it to run better on the engine, and keep using the nitrous. It ended up running like 1340s NA, and it would go 12. Yeah, it would go 12 O's on the nitrous. Hey, this Sean Kwasniewski, see that?
Yep.
This is his old car.
Okay.
This is his. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Sean. Yeah, that's the fastest the last time we got it down here to Wichita, I wanted it to go 11s that day, but it went like a 1206 or 1209. Just hell
yeah, dude.
But it was a 700 R4. It had like a Precision Industries converter, no tranny brake. Just a real stupid combo, but it was just kind of fun.
And that had a 7.5-inch 10-bolt, and it was probably like a 340 gear.
No. It had this weird Australian 9-bolt rear end.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You can
It's
only
like a
get
7
one
and
gear
5/8 or something weird. It was
You
still
can
a
only get
tiny
one gear
little
set.
ring gear.
Yeah. 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 I think I had a local shop there put like a 373 gear. There's only one gear choice available for it. And it was from whatever the factory was, I don't know, 323 or whatever it was to
Right.
that 373. That's the only gear choice, if I remember right.
I
That was
think
a
that's
very,
right.
yeah. Craig says those rear ends were tough. I didn't know that back then. I had no idea. But yeah, it was a real weird rear end. Australian 9 bolt, it was called.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Never heard none of that. No.
And it worked good for you. I mean, who cares? Screw it.
It did. Yeah, and that just doing that just progressed the downfall of
Of
financial
your I
ruin.
was going to say your bank account and financial stability and sanity,
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty much.
And
Um,
going to the drag strip with that thing, um I worked out of town. I did field service work on electrical distribution switchgear.
okay.
So we was in a motel like Sunday nights through Thursday nights. So we was buying Hot Rod, Carcraft, High Performers, Chevy High Performers, all those magazines.
Right.
And when you run out of those, eventually I started buying them Mustang magazines, the 50 Super Fords, the Muscle Mustangs
Uh-huh.
and Fast Fords. I'm like,
Yep.
what's going on with these things? Because I see them at the drag strip because we're going, and they're fast. And I'm like, what are
Right.
these stupid things about? And I'm like, oh, man, I gotta get one of these.
Yep.
I gotta see what this is about. So so that happened in like Mark says you're a Chevy guy at heart. I don't know. I just like cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm
But then
kind
I
of the
got a
same way.
Mustang. I'm like, I don't know what I am. But I got the bug to find out what these stupid Mustangs were about. Because at the racetrack, I would have to use nitrous to go 13s, 12s, or whatever. And these stupid Fox body Mustangs with the 5-speed cars,
Right.
they would go 11s and 10s. And I'm like, what in the hell? I'm
Yeah, what
spending
is
thousands and
going
thousands of dollars, and
right?
this thing is just stupid.
Right. And
So
they got a 302. You like left a
yes,
305 to get a 350, and you're like, you think you're, King Dingaling, and these dudes show up with a 302 and outrun you.
yes, yep, yeah. I had to see what that was about. So we was working in Arkansas, and there was one sitting outside for sale. So it was an '89 LX. It had a Paxton supercharger, one of them stupid ball driven,
Yep.
like 6 pounds of boost type of deal.
Totally. It
Um,
was it was like the standard like 2000 era Mustang supercharger. Like
yeah, yep,
it got that blower and it got the GT40 intake and the E303 cam and it ran tens.
yeah. But this thing had that blower, and it ran like mid 13s with a stick shift, But it was cool. It was fun to. It was a it was a fun place to start with them Mustang Fox 50s.
That's right. That's Ed Hohenberg.
Okay, hello Ed. I've never talked or met Ed, but howdy Ed.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a stock Eliminator Fox Mustang that he's done drag weekend.
Yeah, and mentioning the magazines, like he goes way back in those magazines, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that was probably 2000. 2000. Dang, it's 2003 or four. No, probably like 99, 98, 99 when I bought that first Mustang, because I quit
Okay.
that job in 99, so it's probably like 98. Dang, man,
Yeah, it's
time flies,
wild how
dude.
like time just
Oh,
oh wow. Okay. Yep. Charles Wickham's he's got a Volvo wagon and
do it.
he took his wife for a ride in it and she gave him the green light to engine swap it because it's like molasses slow with the Volvo motor in it. It's a cool, box Volvo
Yeah.
wagon.
So it's like dude's wagon that does drag week.
Right. Right.
I think of his name, but the cream colored wagon.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
fast.
And
Yeah.
he's one of the Swedes.
Yes. Of course,
Yes.
fast. Man,
super fast, and it's built like a brick. It is a coefficient of drag of the side of a barn door. So
yes, it runs
you
high
know
sixes.
it makes power, and then
Yes.
and then it runs sixes. Exactly. It's like pushing a like 2x4 wall through the air, and it goes sixes. That thing is sweet as hell.
Yeah, I love that.
So I've got a few questions that I ask all of my folks on the podcast. So I'm going to start firing those to you.
Okay.
And if you're in the comments, ask questions that you want to shoot at Gary as well, and we'll run through that as we kind of wind down. An hour and a half. You've made it a long time without having to go pee.
Man, I
I'm
told you the other day, we just did a 2.5 hour one on Sunday night.
right. Yeah, and I was watching a lot of that. That's one of my things. Like with my time, I do research, so a lot of that is podcasts. Like there's a ton of information out there on podcasts, and you guys do some good stuff. Like actually, let's do that real quick. Talk to us about the
Okay.
podcast.
Um, um, this came together late last year. Um, and because my car has been torn apart since I broke a valve in late 22, got into like the summer of last year, and we got new managers at our track, and and so we raced small tire drag radial
And this
and
is Mid America Dragway.
at Mid America Dragway, and Rocky Mountain Race Week has been there.
Yep.
If they ever go back, it's not the same as it was. There's
And
been
it
some
was
great.
some people had some gripes about that racetrack back then,
Yep.
but I loved that racetrack, and a lot of people loved that racetrack even
What
then.
year was that? What year was that?
Shoot, 20. It was when
1920,
Finnegan
21.
Finnegan brought his rubber duck car on it.
Right, the
I think
yellow.
it was
Yeah.
22. I think maybe 22. I can't remember.
But the place is different. Like there's been a lot of stuff updated and fixed, but it's a great place. So that's where we race most of
Right.
our heads up stuff down there. It felt like last year during the summer, it felt like if we didn't have 2021, John Stonecipher says,
2021. Okay.
yep, it felt like if we didn't get the car count up and the spectators to come, for a small tire racer or me, it felt like the next year, which is this year now, it felt like when the scheduling and stuff got done, it felt like I believed if we didn't have some help for more racers, more spectators, we wasn't going to have a small tire class to race in, and we'd have to race somewhere else.
Right.
And it from my driveway to the gate is an hour. It's all down the turnpike. It's an easy drive. It's great. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, like in the summer last year, probably I think it was about July, August ish. I'm thinking maybe I'll go because I had already been going live on Facebook when my stuff is down, which is a lot because I'm stupid and I tear my shit apart a
Yep.
lot.
That's how I got into announcing. Broken car.
Well, same deal here. When I go racing with my buddies, because that's the group I race with, and I know them and I know their cars. So when they're racing, I'll go live, and you've probably seen it, and some of the people watching have probably seen when I'm live at the racetrack and I'm live with the race. I like to provide the information of the ETs and who the car is and what's going on. It's just
Right.
as a racer, me, I know what people want to know and what you want to see and hear and talk about and what's being
Same.
going on.
Same.
So, but from that side, from being on this side of the camera, the story that's being told isn't from me. It's the race that's going on. All I'm doing is saying, this is Rodney or this is Cameron, and he goes 450 and he goes 420. The story plays itself. I just say this and that.
Right.
Super easy.
Yep.
So I had already been live on my phone. So last summer I thought, maybe I should go live and we should talk about our small tire situation, because I feel like we're not going to have a place to race if we don't support it.
Right.
So I took a little notepad that I've got here, and while I'd be working in the garage, I'd write down stuff that I think we should, that like maybe a topic I should bring up and stuff we should talk about to generate this interest to get more racers and spectators. So I'd write something down. This went on for a few weeks. I had this long little notebook sheet of a whole bunch of shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So then it got to where like, hey, I think we got enough stuff. I need to go live. So, and I knew it needed to be like on a Saturday night. So like during the day, I'd be working in the garage, and I'm thinking, and the guys I race with, they're busy working on their cars because they're racing, they're maintaining their stuff.
Right.
My shit blowed apart like a salvage yard over here, and I got tons of time to think about other stuff.
Right.
So I'd had this list of stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'd get fired up. I'm gonna go live tonight, Saturday night, whatever it was. By the time Saturday night came around, I'd chicken out. This is totally not my lane of stuff I've ever done or ever been comfortable doing.
Right.
I'd chicken out. That probably happened 3 or 4 times where I chickened out to go live and do it. And I even, in a group text we have with some guys, I said, hey, I'm thinking about going live and we need to talk about small tire racing at Arc City. And one guy fired back right away, yeah, do it. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Nah, I chickened out. So you've probably seen recently my buddy I go racing with and help him, Rodney, with the white Mustang coupe. He's that Mustang coupe right there, small block Ford power, single turbo. He's really smart. What's that?
On purpose?
Yes, it's a really cool car.
It's a joke. I'm making Ford jokes here.
I know. It is on purpose. He's a diehard Ford guy. We have a really good relationship. He's really smart. He speaks well. I do not speak well. I talk like an idiot. And I'm like, I think if I'm going to do this, I need some help. And Darce Law is bad motherfucker. You're right, Darce. So I reached out to Rodney and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. So our first live deal was on our phones. Where you can drag in that person and it's top and bottom. Right. And we did that for a few. We're like 38 shows in now.
Hell yeah.
But that was back in late September because there was a race in October that we wanted to talk about, like their last heads up race for October. We wanted to get the racers there, the spectators there, buy the food, come race.
Yeah, do the thing. Like support the track, support the race. Come watch some cool shit. Come racing some cool shit. See what we're doing out here, please.
Show the track that we want to come race, and we're going to support the race. Yeah. And the spectators need to come support it too, and buy the food. At the concession.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're a spectator, grab someone in an official shirt and say, "Hey, I'm here because the small tire guys told me to be here." Like, do the thing. When you're buying your hot dog, tell the lady at the concession stand, Gary and the small tire guys told me to come here. Like, they'll tell other people later. But that stuff, like, that matters. That's a real life thing. I promise you. Yeah. Like, if you actually just tell people, like, dude, I'm here because of the Heads Up Racing podcast. Like, people will know that. They'll like do that for sure. At your local track, show up and say, hey, I'm here to support this guy. And the guy at the concession stand probably knows that guy. I promise you.
Yeah. Like, absolutely.
All of that stuff counts. So do it. Support your people and tell them that you're supporting them because of a thing, because it helps people get calls back and it helps keep stuff alive. It really is. It really does go a long way. I promise you.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry to go off on a tangent.
No, you're good. And that last, man, I'll suck on some ice. So that last race in October, that our attention was on it, Mark Westmoreland. Man, Mark is a local guy. He is in our show commenting and interacting with us every Sunday, and he has really good questions. He brings up really good topics to ask about. And
I've got a bunch of those dudes that watch mine too that are really like diehard, and they ask good questions, and they truly want, like Dash. He's not done a drag and drive. He's a G body dude, but he wants to do a drag and drive. So he's like compiling all of this stuff, and he's like building his car as he's watching this in the garage and making changes on his ride as we go. Like it's a cool deal. Eventually, we're going to see Dash out on a drag and drive, and he's awesome. But I've got those same dudes. I love them cats. They're the OGs, the regulars that watch your stuff.
Yeah,
it always
Mark is
puts
a regular.
little,
Absolutely.
It always puts a little extra smile on your face to have your people at your show. So, Mark, thanks for tuning in to That's Cool Drink. Here's one for Mark. You, and Gary will have some ice.
I'll suck on some ice. Listen.
Yeah, Dash is working on a new build for next year. Ooh, it's got to be a G body. Okay, I don't even know that you had a new build. He's got a Monty and an El Camino that he's doing, but a new build. Okay. Anyway,
yeah. So that last race in October, it worked. I mean, what we did, I think, in some small way, it helped. We had a lot of racer interaction, non-racer people interacting, just friends and stuff, and it worked. So we got good, like people like Mark. We get good feedback from guys like Mark and other people, and then I got turned on to StreamYard. I was like, well, let's do a little bit cooler stuff. So I got turned on to StreamYard, and so then StreamYard has Chevelle will be done someday. That's same here.
So,
I got this.
So will his car. So will my car. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, and I know you use StreamYard and we use StreamYard, and we've just been evolving with that. And the we'll never be. We made our YouTube channel. It'll never be real big. It's real local and regionalized, which is fine. And if it helps and it gets the racers in people's eyes and talks about them, that's a win, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you don't need to make a ton of money doing what you like. You've got a job. Like, you guys have work. You're spreading the gospel of heads up racing at Mid America. And that's kind of a, when it comes from the soul like that, it really means a lot. And it's something that you do because you love doing it. It's not because you want to do it. It's not, I mean, you do want to do it, but it's not because it's just such a different thing when you know that there's somebody with some passion in it, doing it and trying to push the class and do the stuff. It's a refreshing deal. And
the podcast, the podcast scene, scenario, format, whatever you want to call it, is such a cool way to communicate and talk about stuff. And I was doing this was in September, October, was way out of my comfort zone, way out of my wheelhouse. It took a few of these to knock out the anxiety early on.
Yep.
I mean, you know what I mean? So your podcast, did you start this because of your Rocky Mountain Race Week announcing stuff, or because you wanted to talk to racers about stuff?
Kind of racers about stuff. Like I was telling you before, like my issue is I get to watch every quarter mile pass. I've got the best seat in the house to do it. And I also run the social media of the Rocky Mountain Race Week deal. So I know what to talk about people about, because I gather the information as people offer it, and I use it to announce for them. So, whatever. It really, for me, it became I can talk to these people and get to learn to know a ton about them. And it really turned into, like we were saying before, when you're on these events, if you get to talk to somebody, it's for 5 minutes, and it's, you're rolling in and out of your car, and you're like, dude, that great pass. You did great. We'll catch up. And you never catch up. Like you might get, even dudes you're riding with 30 minutes a day, like where you're actually sitting and talking about anything. So this is a different thing to be able to sit and talk and get to know a ton about people. So that was really, it became that. It was kind of a let's start learning about people. Let's start getting a background of people. And it was kind of right when the drag and drive TM stuff was kind of
Yep.
going down. And it was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of people that are really like fire and pitchforks and, hang you up by your toenails about this world. And the 400 or 500 people that, kind of live this life, don't, the rest of the world don't know how cool they are. And I think that's kind of my plan, is to get these 400 or 500 people their 2 hours in the spotlight kind of thing. And it's become a really cool thing. I like it a lot.
I agree. It's Darce. I love Darce. He's so cool. Darce is like an
Darce
embarrassing.
is also an asshole. I had Darce
I
on
love Darce.
as well. Yeah, it was good. But no, it's just this community is so freaking cool. And like we get to enjoy it as kind of insiders in this little sphere of just total badasses. And the rest of it, the world don't they don't get it. And if we can give them little inserts,
Yeah.
they can kind of start understanding like how freaking cool it is what these guys are doing. And especially because it's become a little bit distilled. There's a lot out there right now. I mean watered down. I'm sorry, not distilled. It's watered down a little bit. There's a ton of drag and drives out there right now, and a ton of people are kind of getting into it, which is a cool thing. Like I love that. But still, as it grows, people don't get it. They don't understand. So this is a cool platform for that.
It is. It is. I agree. And when you reached out, when that I'd say it accidentally got put together because we were just chatting about something else, and you
Yeah.
said, "Hey, when you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, I haven't done a drag and drive for a really long time." But then I thought, but you said, "But you've done one, and that counts." But I thought, well, your podcast it's probably not, it's obviously the drag and drive community at large, but
Right.
it's called That's Cool Drink. It's not
So it's
called,
yeah,
specific to drag and drive. So it's like, well, you're talking to people
people.
and racers, and I've done one. I've done a couple. I've been a passenger in a couple. I've been a serious co-pilot with Keith, and a GoFun co-pilot with Ray and Gavin,
Right.
and done my own thing once. But it's, it's been a really long time, but it's like, you just got a show and you want to talk to the people.
No, and then that's exactly it. And I use the kind of drag and drive world as my like base, if you will, because they're the people I know. And
there's a ton
I
of
can
people
reach
there.
out to them and we can talk. And right, exactly. And there's a ton that I can kind of pull from, which is great. And on top of that, this, although it's growing and becoming watered down, the circle's getting bigger, the rubber band ball is becoming bigger. Still more people want to do it. And still more people don't know what they're doing. And they like to hear insight from people that have stuff that equals what you've got, kind of. There's some dude that will watch this and maybe isn't watching now, but will watch this in 3 months, that has a big block in a Fox Mustang sitting behind him in his garage, just like yours, and he's not sure what to do with it. And like, if he can watch this and be like, dude, I can put an F3 on that and go 8.0 and drag and drive it, then
8.0 foot braking.
right, foot braking. Exactly. Like then that dude can come out in three-wheel motion drag and drive his Fox Mustang, great. Get it out of
You want
the fucking garage and go drive your
you want
car.
you want the story on that picture?
I do.
Okay. This
Someone
was
left a bolt out or something, right?
well, no. This was
Okay.
Friday. No, actually, we got rained out Friday. So this was Saturday. Um, Saturday morning, it was because it rained out. It was still kind of cool and shitty Saturday. So on Thursday night, going back to Tulsa, my car was in the process of eating a lifter.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Friday, rain out, and I'm talking to my engine guy, and we're making a plan there. And I said, it ran 80. It ran like I think it ran 810 at Great Bend, and that was a horrible track. The car spun down track, and I thought, man, if this thing goes in eight anything, I'm done. I'm leaving because I don't want to go down this track again. Well, it went
Right.
like an 810, like 182 or something like that. So driving to Tulsa at some point, it starts eating a lifter. So I remember Mike Crow giving me shit because I wouldn't check it and change it, and
Right.
I've got a reason for avoiding that. Um, and my reason was I needed one more pass, and the damage was done.
Right.
I just needed one more pass. I was afraid if I pulled the intake, found the lifter, two things could have happened. It wouldn't have been very bad, and you put a lifter and you keep on trucking, or it would have been very bad and you need to stop racing. And I
Right.
didn't want to have to make that choice. So to to just keep letting it be like it was, I feel was the best choice because the damage was already done. I
Right.
only
And
needed
it still
one.
runs and you need
Yes,
one pass.
I only needed one more pass. Well, Saturday morning rolls around. The first pass I try to make, it something was wrong in the fuel tune or whatever. It had a hiccup, it backfired or whatever. So that was a junk pass. Come back around the second time. I think that pass in your picture was the second pass. And back then, I'm not sure how it works now, but back then um I don't remember if it was just I, I don't even know how to explain it. But the faster cars, like Larry Larson had his truck. That was the debut of the truck. And Larry Larson in a lane. Yes. So when I hit the water box in the right lane, I had no idea who was coming. But the fast cars, like from, I don't know if they had
I think it was like the quarantine or
quarantine. God damn, that's the word
it's
I was
not
looking for.
quarantine, but
It-
it's
they-
quarantine for sick, but it's
but back
impound.
then, they would let the impound, that's the word impound. They would
Yep.
let them cars slide in anytime they
And you
wanted.
could go anytime you want, right? That was one
Yes.
of your bonuses for having the eagle eye of Turk on you.
Yes.
And it was, and I think it still is, you got to be quicker than 850 and first, second, or third in your class.
That sounds right.
And then you can get as many passes as you want. You get express entry to make passes.
Yep. So I hit the water box in that right lane. I had no idea Larry was going to be in the lane with me until we do our burnout. And I'm
Right.
like, and my thought was, holy shit, this is fucking cool. Me and Larry are
Right.
going to go down the track together.
And if you
How
guys
awesome is
don't
that?
know, this is the inaugural event for the truck. He
Yes.
had the Nova for the years and years and years prior, which is, in my opinion, the car. But he brought the truck out and it's a pro mod. I mean, it's a full on pro mod, and it was like instantly six like teens or something like that. It blew up all of Drag and Drive, the whole world. Yeah. So anyway,
Yep.
so yes, talk about being the second, prettiest girl at the dance. You come up with a Fox Mustang, and he's got the
um,
fastest street car in the world. So that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. So there he is. I'm like, well, this is going to be cool. We're going to go down. We're going to go down the track together for a very short period of time. Right.
Right,
So,
exactly.
um, this is the last day of the event. When it's a foot brake deal because the transmission is very tired now after a week of this. So when I smack the throttle, the front end, I see, you're racing your car. At least I'm going to speak from me. Racing your car, you're looking off the front fender. You're watching straight ahead. You're not looking at the pretty girls in the stands or Larry in his truck or dogs over here. You're looking off the front of your car. I whack the throttle, the front end comes up. And my brain says, why has this thing got the front end up? It hasn't done this all week. This is stupid.
What's happening?
And it didn't register yet what was going on. All I seen was my nose, my fender is up a little bit. And that's where I'm looking at across the top of that driver's side fender. And I'm thinking, there's no way this thing can be wheeling. It's just not possible. So I pedal it. And when I stab the throttle again, that's when I realized the car twist. And then I was like, oh, the fucking anti-roll bars broke. And so then I just drive it down the track to an 11 something. Now we're in a time crunch because there's 30, 40 minutes left where they close the lanes.
And you still need a pass.
I still need to run it. I forget what ET I needed to run. With attrition, either I think leaving Great Bend, I think I showed up to Great Bend in like 6th or 7th place and left Great Bend, I think, in 2nd place. Some cars got broke on the way and whatever, and I made a good pass.
What class? What was it? Modified?
No, it was Super Street.
Okay,
that was
Super Street Power Record.
That was when they had Super Street combined. They had big blocks and small blocks together, which was a giant mistake in my opinion. They changed it after that.
Right.
But it was, and Shane McClellan complained. He had legitimate complaint about his small block car racing big blocks. So that's that. He had a legit complaint with that, and Hot Rod changed. Hot Rod fixed it. And in first place was Eric Yost, and he's gold in everything he touches. So
right. He's been on this show, by the way.
Yes, and he didn't have a great outing in Great Bend. I don't know. At the time. I didn't know if his car was hurt or what was going on. So we left Great Bend, and a buddy here texted me. He's like, "Hey, you're in 2nd place." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's cool.
No shit. That is cool.
Yeah, right. Like, no shit. Right. Wow. Okay." So I knew I had to go to stay ahead of Shane to keep in 2nd place. If Eric maintained what he was doing, I had to run 8 something. I forget what it was, but I thought, well, I went 8:10 at Great Bend. Let's just do that again.
Right.
And I couldn't. So we get back to the pits, and remember my bad lifter. I only needed 1 pass. Now we're 2 passes in.
Right.
2 burnouts, 2 launches. Yeah. So we see that it's missing a bolt. Me and 1 or 2 other guys go up to the starting line, look for a bolt. There's no bolt. I asked the starter, have you seen a bolt of any kind laying around? He hasn't seen nothing. We backtracked all the way back in the right lane that I came up from. Down the right lane, there's a fence along there that if you're in the right lane, you're along this fence. Went all the way down this fence looking for this bolt. At the end of the staging lanes where you would be, there's no bolt.
Oh,
and
no.
It's like, yeah. So it's like, well, there's probably 30 minutes or less at this point before they close the lanes. There's no chance of getting to a hardware store. I didn't even know what size of bolt this was. Mike Duffy down in Oklahoma City built this anti-roll bar on the bottom of my car, and all I know it was a big bolt. And this dude comes walking over, and he says, "Hey, do you need a bolt?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, and it turned out it was Eric Yost's co-pilot.
Okay.
He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Go to Eric's trailer in the top toolbox on the right-hand side. There's just a bunch of miscellaneous bolts." And I thought, what the fuck are the odds?
Yeah, he's not going to have a huge ass and a roll bar bolt.
I don't even know what size of bolt to look for. I have no idea. It was just a big bolt. Go to his trailer, open the drawer. I grabbed the biggest bolt that was in his tray, and I go to my car, and it was like a 5/8 fine thread, and that's the bolt that fit.
And that's what it was.
And
Holy
that's
cow.
oh yeah. So a tremendous amount of luck involved with that. That he came to us at the fence and said, "Hey, go look and take whatever you need." So got that bolt in, got back up with just enough time to go, and it went in 801, 182 or something like that. So I
Hell
was
yeah.
locked in second place, and Eric didn't have enough trouble to take himself out of first place,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we locked up second place. Shane got third. Yeah, there's me and Mark. That's probably Saturday, Friday or Saturday. It looks like some pretty cloudy, crappy weather, but
Yeah. Are
yeah,
you parked next to me? You might be.
I don't know.
That's Oh no,
Is
that's not my Cadillac. I didn't. I had my
okay,
Malibu that year. Wild. That's a first gen Cadillac CTSV. I have one of those now. That's funny
okay.
as hell. Awesome.
Well, you had your green car back then, right?
I had my Malibu then. Yeah, this car here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yep, and it is burning its own fuel currently. So new motor, NA deal, LS2 stick car. Don't want to put a bar in it. So
Right.
1150 all day.
Yep. We finished second in that deal, and man, I tore up a whole bunch of shit, dude. The lifter got the camshaft. That was a whole engine fix, and the transmission was junk. The hood was broken from flying off.
Right.
The nose was burnt from I don't know
The
what.
exhaust.
Yeah, well, that was like Saturday night testing.
Right.
I put Borla collector mufflers that had 2.5-inch primaries, and I cut down a Borla collector like dragster muffler,
Hmm.
and so they've got this perforated and like steel wool type of shit inside,
Yeah.
and they were used. So I don't know if it was burning like carbon or some kind of crap inside the mufflers on testing Saturday night, but it had a bunch of flames and burnt the paint. Brand new paint on this brand new car. Burnt the nose, broke the
Son
hood,
of a.
smoked the transmission, killed the killed the lifters and killed a lifter, and it got the camshaft and sent a whole bunch of junk through the engine. And
Yeah.
man,
As it will as it will happen.
and I ain't been back since with my car.
It's funny how that works.
You know, you mentioned all these events, all these extra, all these. I mean, back then there was the one event.
That was it. That's all you got. And it came
That was
around
it.
once a year. And that, I mean, yeah,
And I think in 2014 we started with like 180 and finished 140ish or so.
right.
Um, there's a there's a ton of them now. What is your opinion on the events that have 300 and some? Are you a fan of that?
I mean, that's sort of where Race Week lives
Yeah,
is
that's a
right
lot.
at 300. It's a
Woo,
ton. It's a ton
that's
of
a lot.
cars. I don't, I don't. My big thing is if you can handle the traffic, then bring on the cars. Who cares? Like make it happen. There's so many years in 2016 for Drag Week. I showed up, not on the wait list. I maybe had just gotten on the wait list when I was like leaving home, but I was going to do I'm going to show up, and I got a fistful of cash and a car, and I was in tech for 12 hours. Um, it was out of
Dang.
control. It sucked so bad. It sucked so bad.
Wow.
I was back there with Rick Steinke,
Uh-huh.
and we were like both of us were kind of like making our way through each other's, passing a ton, and that's when I met him. But if they can make it happen, I'm fine with 300 cars. I have no problem with 300 cars, as long as it's still an attainable thing for the staff, for the people the drivers, everything. There's a thing that you got to be able to do it. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's cool. what I really like is these kind of, these shorter events, these little 3-day short deals,
Yep.
100, 150 cars.
Yep.
Um,
Those are
that's
pretty popular, like around here where I'm at, like
right.
the I forget what it's called, Kenny Open Road or something like that. They
King of the
start
open road. Totally.
like Oklahoma City, Mocan type of stuff.
Yep.
They're real popular. I think they've had one already this year.
Yeah. And I think those are awesome. Like I really like those. I think it's a good way for people to kind of dip their toes in and get an idea of what this is like. But all the big ones now, all the 1,000-mile ones are they're 300 cars. It just is it is what it is at this point. There's a couple out there that are doing their thing. They shooting out this week coming up is Six Summer. The next week is the Redwood Rally one. Or no, I'm sorry, the Montana. Um, and that one's going to be cool. It's all that's going to be a week long one. So I think that's going to be kind of neat. But
What's cool about like the number of them that are out now is it doesn't matter what you have, how much money you have, how fast your car is, how many days you do or do not want to do this. There's an
right,
event for you.
you can do something.
There's
Get in where
something
you
for
fit
you.
in. Like if you want to do a
Find it
weekend
and
one, great.
hit it.
Yeah, exactly. Like figure out something, whatever's close to you, whatever, whatever. Go do one. Like if it's a 3-day one, great, love it, have fun. Go check it out. Like I want to do one since that's been the biggest problem since I started announcing these is I can't compete in these. So Stevie, my fiance, competes in my car, which is great, like no problem. She goes out there and bangs gears and makes it happen. But um, that's been one of the issues with me moving into the working aspect is even though I have running cars, I don't race them. Like that's my next move is I need to get into actually racing my stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm getting through my honeydew list. Is once I cross enough of that stuff off, we're going racing, my friend. So
Yeah.
that's going to happen.
And like our side here, like my attention now, Mark says people are actually building cars just for drag and drives. They should always let an unlimited amount enter. Some people are cool just doing it once. Yep.
It's tough with the unlimited entry thing though. Like Rocky Mountain Race Week is run by basically 4 or 5 people, like, and that's it. And if you had 700 cars and everyone got a pass, and 5 people were in charge and everyone was mad because their pass didn't matter or their pass didn't count, or you have an 850 limited class and a guy goes 849.9, that's 20. And if you get one shot at it, that sucks for you. Like no
Yeah.
good. So yeah, a swap driver and co-pilot at
Co-pilot at different events.
different events. Like that'd be
Interesting.
good. Whatever. We'd figure something out. But
And
okay.
And like what we do here is my attention. I want to do a drag and drive again someday.
You
I
ought
just
to.
don't know. I just don't know when. But our attention here is radial prepped small tire racing, and there's
Right.
a ton of it around here. It's we can do a lot of it. And I'm talking like me and Keith. So to do it, I want to be competitive.
Right.
So like just to say that, like the events we would look at would be the Sick Week stuff because of the prep. Devin Vanderhoof's event, the Street and Yeet,
Street and Yeet.
Yep, it's a hardcore prepped event. So that's the kind of stuff we would have to look at if we want to go, not just go to have fun and hang out, like to be like competitive and do something.
Right.
That's
Right.
the kind of stuff we need to look at because that's how we
Sick
race
Week.
our cars here. Yeah,
Sick Week
yeah,
would
yeah.
do it. They lay it down, and all the tracks in Florida are gangster, and they're fly paper. So you maybe look at that. That might be a good way to kind of get back in. But like you're saying, like the tracks around you, if you could get one of those little kind of short weekend events around there, then you're styling. I mean, you slide right back in. It's like riding a bike.
Well, we went racing at Flying H this past weekend with Rodney's Mustang.
Was it awesome?
Dude, holy shit.
I can't wait to go there. Race Week was trying to go there so bad. We were trying to make that the host track, and it just didn't work out. Like the dates didn't line up. But dude,
That's fine. That's fine. Uh, dude, that place is so awesome. I don't know. It's only going to get better. It's like, if you could describe Flying H right now. Hey, Blaine, if you could describe, and we've been there racing twice. We went Streetcar Takeover a few weeks ago, and then
yep,
the Midwest Pro Mod Series or Midwest Drag Race Series was there.
yep,
And Flying H has their own small tire classes as a track event, but they included it in the Midwest Drag Race Series event.
hell yes.
So we've been there twice, and if I could describe Flying H, it would be like a hot brunette. You know she's going to get naked, and she only has her top button undone, and it's like you can't wait until you see the rest because
Right.
they are all in on making that the best place.
That's so cool. And that was
man.
always their like poll. It was money's no object. Like, what do you want? We're gonna
We
get
talked
it
to Scott Higgs that owns the place. We talked to him late Saturday night, and I said, hey, thanks for this. You know, thanks for doing this. And he said, I'm only going to do it one time. We're going to do it right. We're only going to do it once.
Damn
He said,
right.
I don't want to build this again. And if whoever you're with as a drag and drive outfit, Rocky Mountain Racer, whoever, if you ever get in there, you're going to be blown away.
It's
It's
gonna be
cool
it's gonna be so much fun. Whoever gets there. I mean, I don't even care. I hope I just get to be a part of it. You know, obviously
Michael Marks was there.
Yeah, Darks was there, and Ronnie Court. Shout out Ronnie K, who was the announcer at Vandermeer for years and years and years and years and years. He announced a bunch of the Midwest Drag Race Series at Flying H this last weekend. He's awesome.
I don't know who the announcer was.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude, and big shout out to Ronnie K for he's kind of spreading his wings and getting himself into the traveling kind of announcer circuit right now, and I'm barely into that. I've only been doing this for a few months, but this is his first like outside of Vandermeer paying gig for him to announce. So it was cool watching him wear the Midwest Drag Race Series, shirt and get out there on a brand new fresh mic on a brand new fresh PA at a super cool track.
The tower isn't even done. It's
right.
The tower is still under construction.
Hell yes. So yeah. So big shout out to Ronnie K and all those folks. That is a good reminder. I am actually going to help Mike Narks tomorrow night on his podcast. Eric is out of town, so I'm going to co-host with Mike Narks tomorrow night on the on his podcast as well. So 2 in a row, and he doesn't drink on his podcast, so it's going to be a little weird.
You're going to need to double fist it. So we talked to Mike. We seen Michael a lot throughout the weekend. He was very busy. He was always on the go. We finally caught him standing still late Saturday night, near the water box and stuff. And as we headed to the tower to get Rodney's check. So we chatted real quick. We got pictures, and Michael said he wanted. We was talking about these short 2-3 day deals, drag and drive deals. He wants to talk to Arc City about some sort of thing he wants to put together. Right?
Cool.
Holler at them. The managers, the Harpers that manage Arc City are great. They love that kind of stuff. We're like, reach out. They'll work with you probably.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, dude, we're like 2 hours and 20 minutes in.
That's fine.
We're just rocking here.
Hey, let me ask you this: are trailer or no trailer?
Oh my God! Have you watched my podcast?
I want to know. I've got an opinion.
That's one of my questions I ask.
Dang it! We'll erase it then. You ask.
Indeed. I love trailers. I'm a trailer guy. Love them. Absolutely. You can load them up heavy. You can just take it right off the hitch and push it out of the way, and hopefully you don't ever need any of that shit. And yes, it's out of the elements. It gives you a little extra space for your stuff. I'm a trailer guy, but I'm a small trailer guy. The smallest trailer you can put all your shit in, that you can Tetris your shit in, is the trailer to get. Because the big sail trailers, the huge, whatever, a camper trailer, it's going to jack you up. and the road is always the great equalizer on all of
Equalizer.
these events. And if you make it harder for yourself on the road, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Have you ever done one without a trailer?
The Cadillac is constantly without. However, it's a streetcar car or street tire car. We don't change the tires at all. Rocky Mountain Race Week allows hard tire street tires outside of the groove. So we just don't change tires and race it outside the groove. And it's
Okay.
just needs to run 14.0, which it pretty much covers most of the time. But yeah, it's supposed to be. That was kind of the joke. Is it was supposed to be the easy car. All I've ever done is work on that bullshit because it blew up the rear end 3 times. The independent rear suspension's real finicky in that car. Had 27 spline inner axle shafts.
Yeah.
So they're just. I mean, you wheel hop it once and it breaks, and then
Ooh.
it needed lifters in the same exact pit spot, I think, or one away at Kearney. So yeah, no, it's that was supposed to be the cool, the cool easy car. But I do that without a trailer, but I love trailers. And Blaine says no trailers so you can drive
No
up Pikes
trailer.
Peak. And he did. He took his Isuzu up Pikes Peak.
Well, he's got a truck.
Well, that's true, but all the turbo shit's in the bed.
Oh, you're right. You have to have
So
a
he's got a
small
single
back.
cab truck that doesn't really
Right.
have a bed that you can use. So
He's not used to having much room anyway.
it's true. It's true. What's your opinion on the trailer?
My opinion is I think you have to do a drag and drive without a trailer to appreciate doing it with a trailer.
I think that's a good point.
And I say a lot of wrong and stupid shit, but that's my opinion.
So
Me
14
yeah.
drag week 14 is this. We started with a I call it the fanny pack. It was just like the rack,
Yes.
and but you put the weight on it, and by the time it gets to the rear springs, it has a huge lever on it.
Right.
And I had this thing so low riding going down the freaking road with all my shit on it. And we the second day went and got a U-Haul trailer.
Oh,
And
jeez.
I put that bullshit in the back. And that's when I realized a big trailer is not the way, because that thing was huge behind that car.
Very
And
big,
it tugged
yeah.
it all over the place and it sucked ass. But I loved having the trailer over the fanny pack 100%.
In 2012, when Keith and I took the wagon, it's a 4-door station wagon, so you can haul some shit, and
Right?
we did. Like, I still had my small block Ford stuff then, and we had a lot of similar equipment. He had big stuff. As I was collecting parts to buy for my car, I had a big stuff. Drag Week 14 was my first year too, sophomore in high school. Holy cow.
Blaine.
All of the spare stuff that I had collected for my car that he had the same on the car, we took it. A spare big
Yeah.
stuff, a spare MSD box, a we took a camshaft because you never know if you might need a camshaft.
You might need a camshaft. I mean, if you've got one, you should. If you got the space, it only takes up.
Everything I had that we could use on his car that was the same, we took it, and man, we took a ton of shit. And I think if you're serious about competing in your class, you need to take into account the time that it would take to unload it and load back. Most important is when you show up to unload, because you need to make a pass in your class and you may get there late. I think that's a pretty important key if you think you're going to be serious about running in your class and being competitive.
Well, there's that, but there's doing it every day.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The fifth time you pull your like 7-ton steel like mammoth jack out of the back of your car, and you like tweak your back for the 7th time of the week, like you're gonna be cussing yourself for A, having a 7 million pound jack, and B, not carrying a trailer because you had to unload it and again, you probably unloaded it in a hurry, and so you're lifting in a twisting, jerking motion, and that leads to bad. But no, I think that's a good point. Like you have to. It's sort of like life. You have to appreciate the bad. You have to go through the bad to appreciate the good. Like the sweet's not so sweet until you have the sour.
Well, and back then it was easier to get in and make more passes. Now there's so many cars, time management is very, very important.
It's a thing. It's a thing, especially when you're talking about heat of the day. Do you want to run early and on a hot ass racetrack, or you want to run late when it's cooler? And like we had at Ennis, Texas in 20 shoot it was 21 again, and that's when Doug Cook crashed his Nova. But we got there and it was like 105 degrees, and dudes were like, "I ain't making a pass. Like, screw you, no way. Like, it's too hot." Well, then Doug crashed his car, and we were down for like 2 hours while we cleaned up all that stuff. And we raced night, so like we go till 11 o'clock. Well, we just lost 2 hours. Now everyone is there, and they're trying to make their passes, and we just ran out of time. Like, dude's got 2 crap passes. Sorry, dude. Like, you should have made a safety pass in the 105 while you were chilling here trying to find ice cream. Like,
and if you take a station wagon, you know what else that a station wagon has available? And some people might remember this. It has a roof, a very large roof.
Right.
And you
right,
can
long
and a roof rack around it. And
right.
You can tie shit to the roof, like fuel jugs and your 275 drag radials you're
Tires.
racing on with double
Yep.
bead locks.
Yep.
And if you don't strap them down real good, you'll lose one.
Right. That'll happen.
Because it happened. It did.
That will happen.
We missed we lost a wheel in Arkansas somewhere on the interstate. And
did someone find it?
No. Not that we know of. I mean, I don't know. We got fuel right before getting on interstate. I don't remember what town it was, but I had to go way back in my pictures to then, because you take checkpoint pictures.
Yeah.
Keith would take a picture, and I also took a picture just in case something happened to his phone or
his phone or whatever. Right.
Doubled up. This picture I took at the checkpoint, had no idea at the time. And I'm talking like years later when I looked at this picture, you can see it was dark. The 2 tires are on the roof. There's 2 fuel jugs up there. And you can see coming down the side of the car is an orange strap.
The strap that was on the tire / wheel.
Yes. And man, we got up on interstate and blasted 80 mile an hour down interstate. When we went down interstate for a tank of gas. We didn't stop again until we had to stop at a gas station and get gas. We pull up to the gas station. Keith was driving. I was the passenger side. He's going to go to the bathroom, whatever. I get out to pump the gas, and I'm pumping the gas and whatever. Got all done, and I'm, you're kind of eye level on a wagon. You can see, and I look up there, and it's like, there's only 1 tire. It was one of the moments you just cannot believe what you're seeing,
right?
Because you're tired and it's dark and it's late, and you look at it and it's like, this isn't possible. We can't be missing 1 wheel. This just, well, yeah, we are.
Yeah, we
Keith
are.
was still inside, so I head towards the door to walk in that place, and Keith's in line. And I open the door, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he knew I had this look like,
there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. We had that look, and we was missing a wheel. Champion bead lock with a 275 drag radial.
That's like $1,500 worth of stuff that some farmer probably found and recycled for like $3.
I just figure it probably come off the roof and just probably demolish somebody's trailer house. I don't know.
Who knows?
Somewhere in Arkansas.
Wild.
That was our drive highway tire was a 315 drag radial. We was racing on the 275, and that's how the tune was set, was for the 275 on the track. So
Right.
that took some finagling to get. You gotta work the early part of the car different when it's on
Right.
a bigger tire like that.
Yeah, and
Um,
the 315's got a more. It's like a 29 or
yeah,
29 and a
it's a
half.
big tire. Yeah, we got it to work, but man, it
Yeah,
sucked.
wild.
But it worked out. Yeah.
Um, what? Tell me about the one that got away. What car did you sell you shouldn't have sold?
79 Formula Firebird. You know, it's not a Trans Am. I want a 77 or 78 Trans Am. That's the closest I've been in all my stupid car years. But it was a blue. It was blue on top and like had a silver stripe on the bottom. Had T
Mm-hmm.
top. It had
Yep.
it was the inside had the steering wheel, tan interior, 5 speed. It was a pedal car. A
Cool.
ton of fun to drive. Yeah, that's the one that got away. I wish I still had. I'd rather have a 77 or 78 Trans Am, but if I had it now, I would drive it, and I would love to drive it. But that's the one that got away.
Hell yeah.
Mark
Hell yeah.
Mark says, Wygand's TA, is that the black Trans Am that goes on the
Yeah.
Dragon
Yeah.
drives? Yeah, I like that car.
That car is sweet as hell.
It is. Yeah, it looks really cool. I like how it looks.
Yeah, he was on Sick Week last year, and it's Pontiac powered and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's sweet. It's basically Rich Guido's motor with
Okay.
twins instead of a single. But it's quick as hell. It's fast. It's a cool ass car.
Yeah, I like it. I like them. I like that car. It's a really cool looking car.
So, favorite drag and drive car that's not yours. I hand you unlimited money. Like here's whatever money, and everything's theoretically for sale. Whose car are you going to put behind you instead of that Mustang?
It was for sale a few years ago, and it's gone now. And when there was a giant Powerball or one of them whatever lotteries, it was an
Like
enormous amount of
the
money.
Mega Millions or something, right?
Yeah, it's been quite a few years ago, and I bought a ticket, and I even made a Facebook post, and I bought a ticket, and I said, if I win this, and I was wearing his shirt, I said, if I win this, I'm buying a one-way ticket to North Carolina,
Doug
and
Klein's car.
I'm buying Doug Klein's car, and I'm
Yep.
driving it back to Kansas.
Yep.
That's the car I would have.
That car is so sweet,
I
man.
love that car.
Yep. Yep. And he would tow it around on the open trailer.
Yep. He would pack it
And
on, whatever shit he had, he would pack it on the wheelie bars
on the
and
wheelie bars, no
oh, yeah.
trailer, and he would just be rolling. And it was what wasn't steel was aluminum, and I think the hood was fiberglass and maybe the deck lid, but it had aluminum fenders and it was metal, not steel, but it was metal.
Yeah.
That car was bad,
Yeah.
badass.
Yep. I haven't talked to him for a long time. We used to talk there about once a month there for a long time, and we'd miss each other's calls and we'd text, "Hey, I'll call you back," and what. And it's been a long time. I need to reach out and touch base with him again. But
Yeah,
such a cool dude and a cool car. I love that car.
super cool dude. And yeah, I mean, he stuffed that in the sand at Vandermeer and
Yeah.
picked up a backpack blower from the racetrack and blew out all the rocks from his own car. He's a landscaper. I mean, he runs that stuff more than those cats do.
Yep.
And yeah, that dude's a solid dude, and that car was so badass. He's building something new, and you might know more, but apparently he's building something to come back out and maybe do that mega week for Rocky Mountain Race Week next year.
Okay. I haven't talked. I knew of a car he was doing something with. I haven't talked to him real recent if that's still the plan, but
yeah,
that might be a good reason to call him and touch base.
Yeah, you got to.
Up.
You got to.
Yeah.
Favorite racetrack, either one that you've been on or whatever.
Man. Favorite racetrack I've raced on or
your call, whatever you want. Your own rubric. Favorite racetrack.
Okay. I'll knock one out real easy. The favorite track I've been to and I haven't raced on, Flying H.
Okay.
I have not raced on it obviously yet because this chunk of shit. But favorite track I've raced on, probably, yeah, probably Tulsa,
Okay.
and a close like, and I hesitate because our Arc City track down here has gotten so better, but the people that are managing it now and making it better, my car hasn't been together since they've been there. My car broke in late 22 and they came in last year in 23. So I haven't, and the way they operate the track now is so much better than, it's just, they've got a management team and it's what they do. It's their job. And they're just full steam ahead to make that a great place. And
I can't wait to go. Can't freaking wait.
yeah, you'll notice a huge difference when you're there. There's cracks and stuff that have been filled in. The return road has been filled in with stuff. This putty that hardens up like concrete. They've put LED lights up. There's some more containment on the big end. It's man, it's they just keep making upgrades and upgrades. And Mr. Harper that he calls the shots down there. He's hardcore to make it a great place, and it's gonna be a
awesome.
great place. It is a great place, and he wants it to be better.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah. But
It's
like
awesome.
Tulsa, a great track that I've raced on. Everybody around here loves racing at Tulsa. We just don't get the opportunity. This is I call her Mrs. Harper. And it's the Mr. and Mrs. Harper team that manage the track. She says, I will be on the starting line when you finally race with us, Putnam. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
it's
that.
it's get something going, for crying out loud. I mean, they sold a million Chevy trucks with 454s in them. Like,
well, we've kind of got another problem around here with it hasn't been a topic until kind of recent again, and it's getting to be more of a heated topic at our house. My daughter Kennedy wants to race. So
how old's Kennedy now?
She's 20.
Okay.
This came up again this week. I don't know how I'm going to manage or navigate that. I talked to Keith today. I was like, hey, keep your ears out if you know of a man. She wants a 69 Camaro, but
of course she does.
At least she's got, good old iron taste. But I said, how about a Fox body Mustang? They're cheap, parts are available.
Right.
I know the ins and outs of them. 69 Camaros are probably out of your way out of your budget.
Yeah, I mean, a 2000 Camaro.
Nah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Well, hey, that, but she did talk about that. She's like, if one to race, a 69 Camaro, something to like daily drive and drive around to work and stuff, a newer Camaro. Because I was like, do you want a newer one or an older one? So we established that. So then, on the financial side, how about a Fox body Mustang?
That makes a lot of sense. Or honestly, like a mid 70s Camaro.
I like those too. It's not about
I
me.
mean, it's kind of that Trans Am. I mean, it's leaf spring. It's neat. It's kind of cool. You could do a lot with them.
And they're still about
attainable.
a year ago, like I'm gonna think it was a 70. It wasn't a late, maybe it was a 70, like that later 70s. It had a Trans Am, slopey nose, had the real spoiler look. One of them came up for sale here, and I like those bodies, but I don't need another car. But I think she would probably like it too.
But if she wants to race, I mean,
and we talked about a drag and drive stuff, like it, LS powered, probably, because LS parts are all over the place. It's simple.
You can buy anything at 7-Eleven.
Yep. Something real basic and real simple. That she could also, we could together do a drag and drive of some sort. And man, that lit her up. She liked that idea, but
hell yeah.
I don't know. I don't want that.
Pez brought his kid as a co-pilot.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, you
I
may as well keep up.
Third gen Camaros are fairly cheap. Yeah, I like them They're
the turd gen. I mean, either way, whatever
Mhm.
you can have her come up with something. But any of those, I mean, whatever. Who cares? Maybe now is the time for the Trans Am Firebird.
Hey, I thought about that. I thought about that also,
I
but
mean,
I was thinking along the lines of like something like a fox body that's like a coupe. It's lightweight. You're already, ahead with the weight, and it just
the Fox
the
body is
bang.
so good. It's struts, it's rack and pinion, it's 4-link rear with a good rear end. Like it's already got an 8.8 in it.
Yeah,
A Fox has a lot going for it, for
yep.
sure.
I know the ins and outs of them, and they're the bang for the buck. Man, it's hard to beat. Just like the
But they're
LS,
but they're Fox bodies, and
they're
then
belly
you got to
buttons, they're
deal with
assholes. Everybody's
and then you
got
got to
one.
deal with being the slowest twin turbo big block Chevy Fox body on the planet.
Yes, that's
So
right.
I don't know. I mean, you'll come up with something, but that's exciting. How cool for you to like bring your daughter into your world a little bit and maybe get her involved in some racing.
Yeah, she what's this say? So is Putnam buying a junk fox body, thrashing it together for his daughter and joining us? Absolutely not. There's no way.
Like build a car
Oh,
in 2.5 weeks and show up to Rocky Mountain
oh
Race
man.
Week. I know a guy.
Oh, man. When me and Keith put the wagon together, when we was trying to put the wagon together in the summer of 2011 to try to do drag week, I was working 11-hour days, so I was getting up at 4 o'clock. We was working on that thing till like midnight, and
And then you'd get like 2.5 hours of sleep,
um,
three
but
hours of sleep.
I was in my 40s then. Black and gold fox with the screaming chicken. That'd be all
It's
right.
a little from column A, a little
Yeah.
from column B.
Yeah, that'd be different. Yeah, we did that summer of 11, and I think about that, and I was in my 40s. That there's no way I could pull that off now. No
Right,
way.
right,
And not stay alive, in the
right,
afternoon next
exactly.
day.
Right.
There's no way. No. At least I'm smart enough to realize that.
Well,
Yeah,
we
so
already went over. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
that'll be interesting to see. I don't know. We need. Yeah. She told me tonight. She said like I'm serious about wanting to go racing. I was like, we'll talk some more about it. We'll try to find a plan of some sort. It'll take some time, but it
I
can't happen
mean,
overnight.
what if you just throw an LS in the car right behind you? I mean,
I mean, I mean, I get what you're saying. Oh yeah, that's.
I'm
I
just
know.
saying,
I don't know.
it's right there. It's not,
It is.
it's not currently burning some fuel, and you could make
I'd
that
have,
happen for cheap.
I'd have to fix the seat so she could touch the pedals.
That's okay. I mean, I know a fabricator.
Yeah, but I, uh, I'm pretty sure I've lost a lot of brain cells. Yeah, I've lost a lot of brain cells.
Yeah,
That's my buddy
yeah.
Jim Lauer. He's from up in Salina, where I came from.
Hell yes. Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in, Jim. We appreciate you watching.
Yep. Thanks,
Um,
Jim.
I made it through all of my questions because we talked about the trailer already, but I got one more. So if you are out in the comments and you want to ask a question for Gary here as we wrap up, dude, 2 hours and 45 minutes of that school drink on Tuesday. I've gone through 4 Coors Heavies.
Holy
I'm
cow!
and now empty again.
Dang.
I'm still rolling. So I mean, we're in good shape, but whatever. But if you have anything you want to ask, pop it in their question or in the comments there. We'll get those answered as well. But my final question for you, Mr.
Okay.
Gary Putnam,
Yes, sir.
what advice do you have for a newbie? And again, this is a wide open rubric. A newbie wanting to get into a podcast, a newbie wanting to get into a slowest big block twin turbo Fox body Mustang on the planet, someone wanting to whatever. What advice do you have for some kind of newbie that does what you do? Someone that wants to freaking weld for an aerospace company. I mean, who cares? What what do you have to say to someone
Man,
getting
that's a lot of
going?
topics. Um, and so like a newbie on the drag and drive.
That
and that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
whatever you want to talk
Yeah,
about. Drag and drive is typically where we go, but
yeah. Um, have fun. Like you know, I've been a serious co-pilot competitive with Keith. I've rode twice just to have fun, and then I did my car in a serious competitive manner. So I've got 3 different scenarios of that,
mhm,
um, and each one of those scenarios was fun. Like, going with Keith was fun. Just being a rider in Gavin's car, just zipping along, with in a non-competitive car, dude, we had a blast.
right,
Taking my car, now I will tell you the difference that was this is off your subject, but when in 2012 we left from Tulsa. In 2014 we left from Tulsa. I'm with Keith and he's driving. We leave the gate at Tulsa, and you're going out to do this thing that you have no idea what's coming, but you're going out to tear up this other guy's shit. It's his car.
right,
I'll pull out the gate in 2014 and I'll leave the gate, and it's like, I'm gonna go out here and tear my shit up. It's
right.
it's
It's
not somebody
different when
else's
it's
stuff.
yeah, it's different when it's your stuff in your pocketbook.
We're gonna tear up my shit this time. Holy crap! But yeah, but back on track with your question, man. Just have fun. If you're not having going somewhere to have fun, do something else, because you want to be competitive, and I'm real competitive. Or I wouldn't tear this thing apart as much as I do to get it where I want it. But have fun and hang out with fun people. Don't hang out with shitheads. You got to hang out with
Right.
fun people.
And
That's
there
it's
are.
a big
There's some
deal.
shitheads out there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that community, like if you're hooked into this community like we all are, if you're out in another state somewhere and you have some trouble, those group pages on Facebook, man, you could blast on there and say whatever it is you're having a problem with, somebody will help you.
Right. Someone's going to
Yeah.
leave wherever they're at, and they'll drive hours to get you out of a jam.
You'll somebody will help you. You're part of
It's
that group.
I call it a fraternity,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like you've been through the same stuff. It's not it's like nothing I've experienced outside of the military, to be honest.
Right.
So it's I mean, once you've been through basic training, you have a camaraderie with these people, and drag and drive is that same way. Once you've done it and you've completed one, and that there's a difference like between showing up to one and completing one. Like if you show up to one, you're
Yeah.
pretty cool. If you complete one, you're a gangster, and that's like there's a huge difference between you. And like as a finisher, like dude, you got it going on. And like Larry Larson has said, he's got a quote about that. It's like it doesn't matter if you got a 6 second car or a 16 second car. Like we're driving more miles than you would like to do in your daily driver, and we're
Right.
drag racing that shit every day. And like
Yep.
it doesn't matter if you whatever you got, if you finish that, if you break those beams that last day, like you got a fast fucking street car, man. Like that just is what it is. And you revel in that. Like
Yeah.
you know that's you're still in rarefied air. Yes, there's a lot of these, but ultimately there's a bunch of people do the same ones. There might be 500 or 600 people that do these, and that's still in the grand scheme of the world, pretty small amount of dudes that are
You're right.
tackling these things every year.
Yeah. And I remember in 2012, when you go past the Tulsa track, our motel was in Owasso. So
Hmm.
coming from the south, we drive past. It's dark. We drive past the track. It's on our right side, and you
Yep.
drive past, and it's like, holy shit, we made it back. But
Yep.
but but don't give up, because you still got to make it to the motel and back in the gate in the morning. So
Yep.
you're
Yep.
there,
You're
but
still not out of the right. You're still not out of the
it's like
woods.
it's it's there,
Still
but
not. Yeah.
we,
It's like
yeah,
right
you
there.
know,
And I tell people a lot, like, um, man, if you scatter this in the burnout on your very last pass, like just don't do that, man. Like, don't scatter it in the burnout. Like, at least get it in the beams, get something,
Ugh,
and finish, because sometimes
yeah.
that may be all you get. So,
Yep.
whatever. But
Yep.
dude, that said,
Yep.
we're almost
Yep.
3 hours in. I'm dying. It's way past my bedtime. This is ridiculous. But dude, this has been fun as hell. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on and partying
Yes,
with me.
sir, it has, dude. Blaine says, great hearing from you guys. Hope to see you soon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This I don't have any advice or whatever for podcasters because we're still learning it on our end as we go. But just
Right.
if you have anxiety and hesitation, it's nothing
Yeah.
that a fine, tasty beverage will fix.
Exactly. That's why I made drinking part of my show. It loosens up everybody. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. It helps out a ton for sure.
Yeah, and just across the board, just associate with fun people and pick fun people to hang out with, and you'll be good. Everything will be just fine. If you're not having fun, it ain't worth doing it.
Exactly.
And I believe I do a pretty good job picking fun shit to do. All I do is racing shit, so I don't do nothing else.
There's a jillion hobbies you can do. There's a million, and there's a jillion of them that are less expensive than what we do. So 100%, if you're not liking what you're doing, change your program and or sell all your crap and pick up golf or whatever. Like, who cares? I mean, good luck. Have a fantastic time. We'll be here when you realize that sucks and you want to come back and go racing. But, that's totally true. And I tell that to bracket racers and stuff all the time. If you're bored with your program, put that bullshit on the street, man, and get it out of the garage and go enjoy your car. It's way more fun than watching it sit and go to nothing in your garage.
Yep.
So, Charles wants to know when, where, how, why, for the podcast.
I'm gonna show this. Right. Yeah, that's it. You got it. And if you can see this, it's Heads Up Racing Gary and Hot Rod podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
And it also goes on my Facebook page. So Charles, it's Heads Up Racing Gary and Hot Rod podcast on YouTube. It's also on my Facebook page, and we try to do it every Sunday night at 7 p.m.
Sunday at 7.
Yep. Just we have fun. We talk about stupid shit. I tell lies and tall tales, and
that's what it's all about.
Right.
That's why I do this. I get drunk and we race. We do a little bench racing. It's good.
Rodney keeps things reeled in check, pretty good, and I try to make it a little wild sometimes, and you need a little controversy here and there. You can't be a bunch of sheep running down the same road. So I like to have a little fun.
He says with a big block fox body. But seriously, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to throw you in the background real quick.
Okay.
Say goodbye to these folks that are still hanging on, and I will tell you goodnight before we head off. But
okay. Thank you, Adam. This has been fun.
Yes, sir.
Super fun. You popped my cherry for being on somebody else's show,
somebody else's podcast. Exactly. Yeah. This is your first one on the other side of the driver's seat here. So hopefully I was gentle and you enjoyed all of the prostate exams.
Absolutely. Anytime you want stupid stories, just where I'm at.
I can't wait, dude.
And the people that was over here, I see him over here in the comments. Thanks for hanging out and
yeah. A bunch of these dudes have been here the whole time, like hanging out for 3 hours. That's super cool. But
hey, and real quick, I seen in some messaging, like because I kind of ratted on Keith about having an LS in his truck. Don't send him death threats, or don't send nothing in the mail to him that can hurt him. Come on.
Right, exactly. That's on the DL. No one knows about the LS swapped F100. current.
He might kick me in the nuts next time he sees me.
He may. He'd be like, that fucker Putnam, Pootnam.
I'm gonna stay away for a while,
Hell yes.
man.
Awesome.
Adam,
I'll bring you
Adam,
the
dude.
background, and I'll say goodnight to you before we leave. But thank you
All right.
again.
Thanks, Adam, and your people watching. Thank you.
Heck yeah, man. Appreciate it. Dude, how cool was that? Gary Putnam, longest show I think we've done. I think this is definitely it. We had a lot of people hanging in right to the bitter end, and it was super awesome. So thank you guys for showing up and watching this deal. And how many cool stories does Gary have? Like, that was awesome, man. Love it. Love it a lot. Lots of stuff coming up for me. I'm wearing my O'Reilly hat. I was in the Aztec 200. That's out on YouTube right now. That's me and Chad yucking it up in front of some Aztecs. That was super duper cool. O'Reilly Auto Parts put that on. We had Tate Morgan from the Gambler 500. We had Tony Angelo from Stay Tuned and formerly Hot Rod Garage. Alex Taylor from current Hot Rod Garage and Hot Rod Drag Week and lots of drag and drive type stuff. And Derek Beery from Vice Grip Garage as well. It was such a cool time. So go check that out. It's on O'Reilly's Facebook page. They have episode 1 out currently. They are doing a lot of Geo Metro driving in that one. And then they get to the Aztecs in the other 2 episodes. There's one happening on this coming Saturday and one on the following Saturday. There's a three-part series. So stay tuned to O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of that. Lots of cool stuff happening with that. Six Summer is happening next week. So I leave on Saturday, fly to Chicago, get down in there, and we're going to do Six Summer. That's on Freedom Plus. If you are a Sick the Mag subscriber, you get Freedom Plus for free for the entire month of June as well. So check that out. If not, you do need to subscribe to Freedom Plus to see the live stream of Six Summer. So not my rules, not my deal, but I'll be involved in that. So check that out. And then Rocky Mountain Race Week. So we got that coming up on the end of June, but the 18th, I've got Daniel Romansky and Michaela Marietta on, and that's going to be my pre-Rocky Mountain Race Week show. I will maybe have Matt on for one more show right before Rocky Mountain Race Week as well. So pay attention to a bunch of those coming out very, very soon. But again, my biggest month about to kick off here. We are going to get wild, and actually my second biggest month. September is my biggest month. There's lots of stuff going on, but June's going to be nuts. I have like almost nothing in July. I have almost nothing in August. So maybe looking for some work. I don't know. Maybe I have project cards, turn and flip. We'll figure that out. I put it on the YouTube. We'll make it happen. But guys, thanks so much again for tuning in. This has been an awesome one. Almost 3 hours long. That's Cool Drink on Tuesday night. Guys, episode 43, we are about finished. Gary Putnam, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks you so much to everyone again for tuning in. If you're tuning in on the podcast, that's happening on Blueberry and everywhere you get podcasts. I'm a little behind. I'm like 20 episodes behind. But that's going to be happening very soon. But no, that's Cool Drink next week. I'll be on Sick Week. No, that's Cool Drink at the end of the month. I will be on Rocky Mountain Race Week. But again, Daniel Romansky and Michaela Marietta on the 18th, right before Rocky Mountain Race Week. I'll probably have Matt Frost on right before that as well. And for a little quick one, just for a little driver's meeting kind of thing for folks. But that said, guys, thanks so much again for tuning in. That's Cool Drink, episode 43. We are